Steve. Good evening.
Steve is here.
Hey, Steve. Good evening. Great. Much early. Steve will give another 5 more minutes. I'm expecting Eric to join.
Yeah, no problem.
Great. Steve, couple of minutes. Eric is joining with us.
Sounds good.
Right. Okay, there is Eric.
Hey everybody.
Hey Eric, good evening. Thanks for joining. Okay, here we go. We have Steve with us. Fine, fantastic. Thanks for joining, both Eric and Steve. And today is going to be a session of could we connect most of the part of PMP, that is integration part, right? So we'll just get a heads up how much we've covered, and then we will take it from there. So that's a plan. And I just want to understand how much you are able to look into the books or some of the articles about PMP, or you are able to go through the video recordings of what we did so far.
I didn't.
Eric and Steve, you
I,
tried anything on that?
I
Mm-hmm.
didn't make it. I didn't make it all the way through the recording that I missed yesterday, but I made it. Made it
Okay,
probably like a quarter, almost half the way through.
fantastic. Okay, great. Great. And saying that now, as we are coming to the end of the session, I mean, end of the program of PMP learning, now the next stage would be of looking into the certification part. So what we'll do is we'll go through the course today, and end of this today's session, the time permits, we will see how we can approach towards the examination. So I would like to get the plan as well from Eric and Steve, when you would be targeting for the examination, and how can we take the examination application form and move forward. So we should have a target date that is good enough to move forward. As I've seen this PMP, it is something like as we read, it'll keep going on, and there won't be any end date for it. If you start reading the books, it's of 600 or 700 pages. It'll make you to read for another couple of weeks, months, and keep going on. So I would generally request candidates to block a date, say keep some tentative date in mind, and then start reading, so that you'll have a target date to move towards, right? So this is what happening. I just want to get a date. Is there anything in your mind for Steve and Eric for the examination?
Oh, let's see. I think I'm probably going to be targeting March, probably the second week of March, because I'm going to be in Tennessee all next week.
Okay, that's great. Okay, great. Yeah, saying that we'll get in, and we will start on. So what we have, I just want to show it the process sheet to just to reiterate where we are. That could help us to go for the next level. So what are things we did is, first what I'll do, okay, I'm taking a white sheet. So what are things we did so far is we have learned on a step 9 in knowledge areas. So totally we have 5 process groups, and we have 10 areas and 49 processes. Okay. Now, out of which what we have did so far, we have taken 10 knowledge areas. On that, we tried and covered stakeholder management. Then we covered communication management. Then we went with scope management, schedule management, cost management. These 3 are considered as triple constraint. We learned through that. And after cost, we learn quality management. After quality, we went with resource management. After resource, we went with risk management, procurement management, So if we look at here, we have covered stakeholder communication and triple constraint we covered. Also, we worked out on other three constraints. When I say other three constraints, quality, resource, and risk are other three constraints. So overall, we have covered 9 knowledge areas out of 10. Here we have 10 knowledge areas, out of which we covered 9. Now, all these 9 will be connected together in a place called integration management. Right. So the integration management is the primary goal of PMP, where it is going to connect all these 9 knowledge areas together. Because a primary role of a project manager is to do integration management. This all individually can be done by each resources, or some delegation can be given to other resources to do it. For example, for communication, you can have a resource who can do it for you. For quality, you will have a quality manager. For risk, you will have a risk manager who can play that role. But end of day, the integration should be done only by the manager or leadership position, where a person should be able to connect all the dots here to make a project happening, right? And integration is also considered as the primary role of a project manager. In a sense, as I was talking on the first day, like music orchestra was happening. In the music orchestra, you will have a central person called as conductor. And this conductor knows the music symphony in his mind or tune to be played, and then will be conducting that music. As the music goes on, you will have a different instruments being played. There could be a guitar, there could be a flute, that could be a different instrument. But the conductor in the center knows what tune to be played through, and this conductor will make action accordingly. So the music happens. So same way here we have different variety of process should happen within a project, but as integrated in a center, a project manager should have the knowledge, skill to make it happen smoothly. So how do we play is in PMP? We'll have this 5 process groups that is very consistent with initiation, planning, execution, monitoring, control, and closing. And later we go with the 10 knowledge areas and 49 process groups. So this is how it works. So let me see further more on this. Okay, so I'm showing back the 49 process sheet. This is the primary sheet of PMP, which will help us to understand how much we have touched and what are the key areas to be covered. So if you see here, I was talking about the 5 process groups which falls under here, and we have 10 knowledge areas, out of which is the 9 knowledge areas we have here. And today we're going to cover the integration, which is a very important one. Of course, this is the first knowledge area in the sheet, but still we should learn this 9 knowledge areas which will help you to integrate in the integration management. The primary goal of integration management is to go ahead with the charter development and then proceed with the plan and make the work happen. If you see here, this is the only knowledge area which will have processes in all the 5 process groups: develop charter, plan, work, monitor, and close. Rest all will not have in all the 5. In stakeholder, they would have in 4 area, but not the 5th area. This won't be here. So this is the only knowledge area which kind of covers all the factors. So what we have to see is we have to see how the project is starting and how the project is closing. When we're saying how is it starting, we have something called charter. A charter is something very important for a project to go ahead, and that charter will give the authority for the project manager to go ahead and start the work. Even before the charter comes into picture, there is something I keep saying, something like we'll have a cloud environment. I was calling it a cloud environment because a sales team above this head of the project team will have a discussion with the client or end user and understand their expectations from them. and then pass on that information to your CEO of the company or director of the company, or you may be the owner of the company. And after the information is being received, the top management decides which project to pick it up. Once they decide which project to pick it up, that turns into a charter. Only when you have a charter, you have the clarity what need to be done. However, it will be at a very highest level. When you say very highest level, other day I was sharing you something called bullet train project between New York and California. That's nothing but a charter. A charter will have a very high level information about the project. However, it will not explain everything in detail. It will have only high level. Taking that high level of information, now what will happen is we will pass on that information to the team to make a project management plan. When you say project management plan, the ideal goal here is to do every plan of scoping, scheduling, costing, quality, resource, communication, risk, procurement, and stakeholders. This all putting together, it's called project management plan. So we will bring something here called project management plan. Sometimes we call it as master document. It's in a short form called as PMP. That is project management plan. And this plan will consist of all the 9 knowledge area plans inside one document. It can be one PDF, it can be one Word document, it can be one folder or one rack of files. End of day, this PMP document, that is project management plan document, should hold every plan inside that. Now you can ask me the question, will they do whole planning for 2 months and then they start the work? I would say no. The reason being is we may not get and start the 100% of requirement on the first day. We would have got 20% of the requirement for which we have done the scope, schedule, cost, quality, resource, and we will give it to the team to do the work. We'll give it to the team to do the work. When they're doing for 20% of the work, the next 20% will come. So it will go something like you will get 20% of the information and you start the work. And again, after some time, you get 30% of the requirement, you do the work. Again, you get 50% of the requirement, you do the work. So end of day, you'll cover the 100%. It will be an iterative and incremental way. 20% you take and do all the stuff and do the work. 30% you do all the stuff and do the work. It's a continuous process will happen, which will make you to move forward. If you get all the 100% of the requirement at the beginning and you start the work, that is also one of the model, which is going to be called as waterfall methodology, where you know everything in beginning, predictive way. We were talking about 2 methodologies. One is on predictive and adaptive. If you remember on the first day, we talked about predictive, adaptive. So predictive and adaptive methodology. Adaptive is something which you do incremental as and when you get the requirements, as and when you know what you need from the customer. Predictive is you know everything in beginning and start the work. Now, both the model can be worked out here, but what we have to understand here is we get the charter and the charter is passed on to the team to do all the planning activities. And that planning activity is called as project management plan, PMP. When this planning happens really well, you pass it to the team. And I keep saying that this is a place actually the labor force will happen. Actually, the worker team will start working here. That is called direct and manage project work. When they do the work, there'll be 2 outputs coming up. One output is called as the process of getting the work performance data. How much of work is completed? The actual information of the work will be passed on to the monitor and control cycle. That is work performance data. If you here remember it, I keep adding something called work performance data. You'll be passing. We pass 2 information. One is work performance data. Other one is you will get deliverables. So out of the team will share 2 things. One is deliverables, other one is work performance data. When the deliverables comes to control quality, the quality department will verify it and they will pass it to validate scope, where they will do the final stage of checking with the customer. I was saying something called UAT, user acceptance testing. Once this is done, the project will get closed. Now, why we need work performance data is to understand how much we are progressing from the plan what we made. We made a plan and the team is working. We have to know what the team is doing. That information is nothing but work performance data. When you know what the team is doing, you can compare it with the plan. And that all will happen in every control here: control schedule, control cost, control quality, control resource, monitor communication. In every place, they take this data and they compare it with the plan what we made. If things are good, we move forward. If things have any problem, we'll go for a change request, right? So this is going to happen here. So far, is it going well for you, Stephen, Eric? Is there
Yeah,
any
everything
question?
sounds good.
Okay, fine. So this is a flow of the integration management. In integration management, two things I didn't touch for you. One is manage project knowledge. Other one is perform integrated change control. So what I do is, as I get into the slides, I'm going to explain these two. For now, I will not touch it. As I go deep, I'll tell you. For now, what you have to understand is a charter comes in, they make a plan. With the plan, the team work. When the team is working, it will give two outputs. One is work performance data, other one is deliverables. Deliverables, it can be of a finished products, can be of interim deliverables also. You can't expect a product coming on the first day. It could be a half-away deliverable. As I was talking about a bridge construction, a supervisor come and view it and they say, yes, we have completed 25%, we have completed 35%. That could be of interim deliverables. Giving a work breakdown structure, that is a deliverable. Giving a project management document is a deliverable. So deliverables not always a finished product. It can be interim deliverables, can be a specific documentations. That's also a deliverables. So we keep giving deliverables and also we give work performance data, nothing but the actual work completed by the team. Now let's see a couple of slides to get clarity about what is integration management, and then we take it from there. Okay, yeah, we'll go to okay, this is our journey where we had covered a good amount of knowledge areas, and now we are in this area of integration management. Also, we're going to see a couple of slides on agile concepts. Even though it is not part of your examination for PMP, I just thought of adding something where you can get clarity of what is agile. Then we'll go to integration management. Okay, this is a one image which is going to help you to understand what is actually the integration management all about. Every project or have a phase or a start of the project where we have a process group called initiation process group. In initiation, we do develop the project charter. A charter like a bullet train project, which I showed you, gets ready. Generally, the charter would be of hardly 5 or less than 5 pages, not beyond that. Generally, it will be only 1 or 2 pages, which will be very high level of information, what the customer, what the organization is looking for. When that is there, we go for the develop project management plan that happens under planning process group. So under project management plan, we have 9 knowledge areas. As I was talking about scope, schedule, cost, procurement, everything will be there. It's an accumulated effort here, which creates a information for working in a project. When that is good, we'll be start passing the information to our team, which is in direct and manage project work, where the team will start working up. Only when you have the plan little enough to start the work, you will be giving it to the team. So the team will start working here. When the team started working, it start moving forward. When I say moving forward, from Monday they do the work till Friday. It's almost 40 hours of work. In the 40 hours of work, a 10-member team, what they did. How do you know that? And that comes to know through work performance data. And this information is used in monitor and control. If you see here, the monitor and control is covering every process or every knowledge area. It goes everything through, all through. So monitor and control is something you have to do all the time. You keep a watch what's happening. You keep on looking at what's happening. That's monitoring and controlling. That happens here. If things are not going well, you need some change. It may be good change, it could be a bad change. Both the change should be done by the team. And if that change is being recommended, that goes to a group called as Perform Integrated Change Control. If you heard about it, there is something called CCB, Change Control Board. And this team will look out, are we going to do this change or are we going to reject the change? Because you can't accept every change in the project where the project may get derailed. So we watch out what change to be accepted based on the impact. And that will happen in Perform Integrated Change Control. Anyhow, I'll explain it as we go deep. For now, understand that monitor and control will be touching every corner to see is it going as per the plan. Ideally, looking are we as per the plan. When all are good, a day will come where the deliverable will be accepted by your stakeholders, your sponsors, and they feel comfortable. Yes, this is what we want. And that day will be the final day. You make a signature with them and you get a paycheck. Once that's all done, you close the project. It is not that only when they accepted the deliverables, we will say thanks and get out of them. No, we have to sign officially and we have to close the project officially. The reason being is closure of the project is a process where we should properly hand over the documents, the deliverables, and proper agreement closure to tell that what is asked has been delivered. And this all will happen and close the project. It can be close project or it can be close of phase. Because we started a phase, it can be closure of phase. As I was talking about bullet train for between New York and California, it may not happen in one shot. It may go by phases. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So every phase can go for 5 months or 6 months timeline. So they take one phase and close it, go to the next phase. When the first phase is in the closing stage, the second phase would have already started working. When the second phase is almost in the middle of the work, third phase would have been started. So it's a continuous process happening. So this is how the project management works. If it is an agile way, the same will happen, but it will be quicker iteration. They quickly start delivering it. Let me take further deep. Okay, I was talking about integration and the need of integration. It is reiterating what I was trying to say. It is something, the very core functionality of project management, where you connect all the dots of cost and time and risk, knowledge areas. You go for every knowledge area. It will touch everything. So integration is a processes. You have a project performing organization and it's between the objectives of the project. It's something connects every dot of the organization. That is, an organization has a high level strategy, high level goal that has been drilled down to the level of the managers to make it happen. So we, being a manager as a leader, having knowledge of all these knowledge areas, along with the strategy of the organization, we will connect it. We cannot work in isolation. We should work along with the strategy of the organization to execute it. So that's a very core functionality of integration management. I'll start with the develop project charter. There is something input very important called as business case. A business case is nothing but a justification of why we want to take this project. It will have an elaborated discussion or details about what is the benefit behind this business. They will, when I say they, there will be a team who would analysis on this business and understand how beneficial it is for the domain which this organization is working for. Is it going to give some rewards, return on investment, or a net profit on this? As a manager, you may not participate in this, or you may have the visibility, but not to the deep, because this is being done by pre-sales and some more high-level team at the CEO level or director level to understand how much benefit it's going to gain. And the business case is justified for this organization. The business case is comfortable for the organization to take on. And now they start moving towards coming out to the charter. So we need a business case or we need an agreement to proceed on. Other day I was talking about BMW is one of the new vehicle coming up. And in BMW, we have audio system. Of course, BMW is good at engine and its performance, but BMW is not good at audio system. So what they do, they go to the third party to get an audio system, and that can be an agreement. That can be a legal bond between the two organizations to do the project, and that is nothing but the agreements. So you starting a project could be someone give an agreement to you, or you may give an agreement to some other company. However, it is a project can start either getting the business case from the external party, business case from your business team or a sales team, and also you can get some agreements from the team. Now saying that, have this information and that will be converted into a charter. A charter will get converted something like having using interpersonal skills. If you remember well, interpersonal skills is a very vital part of project management, where you have the conflict management, facilitation, meetings, and this all happens and helps to create a charter. What I do is I will show a video which talks about a little bit about what is a charter all about, because there is always a question talks about what is SOW and what is a charter, statement of work or agreement, and what is a charter. So I'll just show one slide or one video, make you understand what is a charter all about. Right. Okay, there's a business case how it's getting into charter. Let me know if you're able to listen to the audio.
Hi and welcome to PMPLounge.com. This is Lounge Fever, where
Are you getting the audio?
Yeah.
Great.
we try to answer your burning question. Question for today is
Oh, now I'm not.
this project charter. So what is the business case?
Just got really quiet.
Sorry, it's not getting in?
No, it got really, really quiet.
Okay, wait, let me check with the audio. Oh, I didn't share the computer audio. Sorry about it.
Both of these in details earlier.
Is it good now?
Yep.
Perfect. Just listen through how the business case is being treated as a charter. Business case is a justification, charter is something authorization. Let's understand that for a few minutes.
And I link to the respective videos in the description so you can go over those videos and kind of learn what these two basically are. Business case, as we know from the earlier videos again, is a part of the project charter, but let's try to understand this from the beginning. What is the difference? What is the basic difference between a business case and a project charter? How can you see a document and differentiate whether this is a business case or a project charter? So let's try to understand that. So business case is a description of what the company is trying to get out of the project. For instance, its benefits, ROI, that is return on investment, future opportunities, and other things. So business case is just a description. It tells you what the benefits company can reap if it decides to take up that project. So what all the company can kind of achieve by delivering a project, all of that is mentioned in the business case. Whereas a project charter is a high-level description of the project itself. It will also list out what the deliverables are. So as part of this project, what product will the company deliver to the market, or what service would the company deliver to the market, or what enhancement to that service or product will the company deliver to the market, or anything else as a matter of fact, because anything that is going to be the end product of the project, that will be mentioned in the project charter. While why we are doing that project, what will be the benefit of the deliverable, that comes as part of the business case. Now business case justifies the company's decision to take up the project. So from the description above, it talks about the benefits, it talks about the future opportunities the product of the project will have, it talks about the ROI of the project. So it's obvious that business case is justifying a company's decision of why the company should take up a project, while a project charter is basically authorizing a project manager to do the work. So we've mentioned earlier on our videos on project charter and business case as well. So project charter, we have mentioned it earlier in the video that project charter authorizes a project manager. It names the project manager. Now, business case is the research that goes through or had gone through to ensure the project is worth doing. So, in order to find out the benefits, the ROI, the future opportunities that the company can get if they do the project, you have to do certain background research, right? So, that research is what goes into the business case. While project charter is an artifact, it is a document that formally announces the decision to do the project. So, in a nutshell, the difference between the business case and the project charter is the fact that business case justifies the company's decision to do the project. It basically does the background research of why the company should be doing a project. And if the results are good for that background research, that is, the company decides to take up the project. Meanwhile, project charter is basically a document that authorizes the project manager, that announces to the world that this project is underway, it is getting started, it is getting done by the company. So that's the difference between a business.
Okay. By this, you got a little idea about why the charter is there and how we look at the business case into a charter, right? By any chance, Steve or Eric, have you seen a charter in your project?
I have not.
Oh, okay. How about you, Eric? You got opportunity to see a charter in your project? Eric, you're in mute.
Yes, I am on mute.
Yeah,
No, I have not seen
have it seen.
a
Okay,
project
fine.
charter.
Okay, that's the reason I played this video to give an idea. Business case is the one which happens to elaborate what they want, and you cannot think a business case will happen overnight. It will be a long-term discussion by the company, and they decide what need to be done. Every organization will have a huge amount of business case discussion. If you go and talk about Facebook or talk about Google or talk about any infrastructure organization or a food chain industry, they will have a number of business cases happening behind the screen, but out of which only few will be mature as a charter, because not every business case will justify ROI. When I say ROI, return on investment, not every business case will give enough information to start the work. For example, Google is trying about the automated car, and this automated car is a business case they would have tried for the last 8 years or 10 years. After some time, they understood that this can give some ROI. Then they go for a project charter. Then they allocate some managers for that to do the work. But the business case was in progress for last 8 years or 10 years. They keep working on. They don't know. They don't know when to start it. They'll wait for a right moment to start. So now the charter is something bit matured stage of business case where you know that you're going to do it. And that will have the problem statement. If you see here, it'll have a business case, it'll have a goal, it'll have a timeline, when you're going to do it and who is going to do it. It'll have information of it, but every information will be at a higher level. Why? Because we're yet to find the stakeholders of the project. Only when you find the stakeholders of the project in detail, you will be able to talk about what actually we want. Now I'll put you something like this. It is not always something you will not have the requirement. There are a possibility that some project will come with a clear clarity what we want. So as I was saying about you are the manager for a BMW new car you planned up, and in that new car you want an audio system, Now you are very clear what kind of audio system you want for the car. Now when you approach a Sony corporation for the audio system, you will clearly give the inputs what all you want. So when they start the project charter, Sony corporation, when they start the project charter, they'll have the clear clarity what need to be done. So there is a possibility that the scope is very clear. So either way it can happen, but most of the time, when I say most, the higher percentages, it'll have only high level of information when the charter starts. I'll try to show an example here. A charter may look a single page document, which I'm showing here, or it could have more than 3-4 pages, which will have a project name, what is the description of the project, who is a manager. Here your name will be there. It will be Eric or Steve or Shri, the name will be put over here. And then when it is got approved and the signature will be here. Now what's the purpose of creating a charter is, the charter gives authorization for the manager to handle the resources in the organization to move towards the goal of the project. Now tomorrow someone come and challenge you telling that, hey, you are calling yourself as a manager. How do we know that you are a manager? And how do we get authority to run a project? The charter is the one gives a authority for the person to run the project. And that's a starting point. Right, now with the charter, you're ready. Now you have to start the planning. When you say planning, you're going to do the project management plan. If you remember, I was saying that this is the master document. It's going to have all other processes. If you watch out the inputs here, you have a charter as an input, which is a high level information, and you have something called outputs of other processes. This is very important. What is output of other processes? It's going to be output of scope, schedule, cost, stakeholders. It goes on. All the 9 knowledge areas outputs, it's going to be inside this. That's why it's called as output from other processes. So what it will make is, it will have 9 knowledge area outputs here and putting together as a document. And when you do that, definitely as a leader, you are expected to have interpersonal skills to make this happen. You should have a facilitation technique. You should have conflict management techniques. I was keep saying that interpersonal skills is very important for a manager or a leader to run a project. It is not only your technical knowledge will make you a manager. You should know how to handle things. You should be comfortable in handling people and the process around them. If you read this line, subsidiary plans and baselines that are an output from other planning process or input to this process. Hope you get this line. Nothing but all these plans will go inside this particular processes. That will help you to create something called project management plan. It is also called as master document. It's also called as, because it has 9, all the 9 area plans will be inside this document. So it means that it will be a continuous process. Don't expect that a Friday evening will complete this document and a Monday morning the team will start working. No, that's not the model. It's a continuous process. When one side of the team is updating these documents, other side of the team will start working out. So that's the continuous process. That's a parallel activity which is expected from the team. Let me take you further. Okay, this is one of the page which I would expect you to work out consistently. If possible, you can take a screenshot of this page also, because it has a good amount of documents here. It has been divided into 2, on the left, on the right. On the left, you will see that it has project management plan, which is the plan which we so far discussed in the last 5 or 6 more sessions. Scope plan, requirement, schedule, cost, quality. Whenever you talk about PMP, these are the set of documents which will run through and behind the screen to make the project move smoothly. If you see, we have all these plans here. If you see, you have all the plans here. Along with that, we have the baseline. Baseline is nothing but the mutually agreed upon deal between you and the key stakeholders. And then we have project documents. There are a good bunch of documents here. If you see here, totally 18 plans are there, and we have 33 documents. Overall, it can become like 52 documents. You have a change log, issue log, risk register, stakeholder register. It goes on. A lot of documents are there. But now the question can come from Steve and Eric is, do I need to memorize all these documents? The answer is no. Doesn't mean that you have to do every document for the project. Whatever is documents needed for the project, you'll pick it up. It's like a buffet of a food. You may not pick every item for your food. What you need, you're going to take it on. And PMP is very open in that sense. I say that it's not mandatory that you have to do every document, but you have to have knowledge about it. When there is a need comes up, you should stand as a leader and tell that, hey, there is a process which is called as change log, which means that whenever new changes come, we should record it in this log, which will help us to follow in the future. Once I remember I was taking a class and there was a candidate came from Gulf, and this candidate was working in an oil rig company where they are coming up with a project to come up with an oil rig, and it is a $1 billion project. And I was showing this document to him and telling him that, or telling to the whole group that some projects would follow all these documents, some may not. Then he added a point saying that in his company they're following PMP, and he was saying that we have added another 20 documents more than these what you see in the screen. And because of systematic flow of all these documents and process, they were able to move systematically in oil rig construction. Oil rig is one of the toughest project construction, and he was saying that we follow all these documents. Maybe one or two name is different, but we follow it, and we add more documents also. So it depends. It depends on the project capacity. It depends on the project need. They add the documents. If you take an IT industry, in IT, you may take only 10 to 15 documents out of this. But point here is there should be some process, and there should be tailored process if needed. That's the point here. And I know we are following a tool called Jira in software industry. And this Jira is nothing but a combination of all these documents put into one web or internet application where they record all the information. Now, PMP is trying to give that in a different naming convention for our understanding purpose. So this is one of the page which we have to work it out, where we talk about project management plan and project documents. So far, whatever we learned fall under this category to document it for future reference. Let me take further. Now it is a team effort time. So now from the charter, you mature to a plan. When you say mature to the plan, it is a continuous process. Now, if you see here, the project management plan, there is a master document is here. You have the project schedule when you have to do the work. You have the requirement traceability matrix. When the requirement came on, what is happening now, that detail is here. Also, I have some interesting factor here called as change log. Change log is nothing but a requirement came from the stakeholder in the middle of the work to change some information, some process, some product. I'll explain more on change log. Let's move with the information of what we have now. So now with the requirement and all the project management plan documents and details what we collected, we are going to move towards a team. And this is a place the team will start working. If you see here, there is something called project management information system. Have you heard about PMIS? PMIS. That's what the project management information is. Yeah, PMIS can be a tool. It can even be your email. It can be any software. It can be any whiteboard. It is a process. It is a tool which will help you to delegate the work to your team. It helps you to keep the work splitted among the team. Again, I'll go back to the tools what we use for so many years. We were using MS Excel, Microsoft Excel sheet. Microsoft Excel sheet is one of the PMIS tool which helps you to share the work with the team and keep track of it. Every organization have their own process and system being followed. Ideally, we maintain something to have a centralized system to follow the work and get assigned with the team. Now that's happening. And now with the incoming all components and you allocate the work to your team and the team started giving two output. I was saying that one is deliverables, other is work performance data. So deliverables can be of interim deliverables, a document, or could be a finished product. When that's coming out, we get one more thing which is called as work performance data, which is nothing but the actuals. How much his team has progressed? Where are we? That information comes out. When you see that, I have two more output. One is issue logs. This is purely people factor. Whenever the team started working, there could be some issues popping up in the team. It could be of conflict. It could be of misunderstanding. It could be of some uncomfortable situation with the team, or the stakeholders not happy with the detail what we give. It could be of people factor coming up here in issue logs that will be recorded. Why we record it here? To follow it up and close it in the future. You cannot leave any issue open. A issue left open can create a lot of trouble in the project. So as a manager, as a leader, we are responsible to record the issues and assign a right person who can resolve it in future. So that's issue log all about. And again, we have something called change request. This is what I was talking about. A change request. What will be in a change request? A change request will have, it could be of,
I'll be right back.
okay. Okay, a change request can be of a process change or a product change. It can be either of the stages. Now, this Hey Steve, hey Rick. Sorry for the connection problem. You're able to hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Just a minute. Just give me a minute. Hey Steve, thanks for coming back. Okay, sorry guys, we had some problem with the net connection. That's why there's some delay here. Hope now Steve and Eric able to see the screen, what I'm sharing here. Is it clear?
Yep, it's clear.
Okay, great. We'll proceed. Okay, I was talking about direct and managed project work, just the team work which is happening, where I was talking about change requests where I lost the connectivity. When I was talking about change request, a change request goes like, I'll repeat it again in a sense. Okay, a change request can be of process change or could be of a product change. Okay, can you tell me what could be of a process change or it could be of a product change? Any difference you see between process and product change?
A
Eric, you have any
process,
idea?
a
Yeah,
process
please.
change is going to be a change in the way you do something.
Amazing. You're right. You touched
And
it.
product change is just going to be just that, a change in what you're using.
Yes, we can even use a word specification of a product or
Right.
feature of the product, right? Yeah, good. Absolutely. You got it. So now this too can be of a changes in a project. In a project, it doesn't mean that all the time the change will happen, but the changes can come. When the changes comes in, we should know, is it a process change is coming up or a product change is coming up? because you being a leader, you should be able to differentiate both. So you will be handle it in an efficient way. When a changes comes in, the changes can be of something like corrective action. There can be a request on to correct the process or correct the product. That could be of preventive action, something you know ahead. In fact, other day we worked on cost forecast or schedule forecast. What do you mean by forecast is you're forecasting what will happen after 6 months. When you know what is going to happen 6 months, now you can start working on your preventive action. If I know that I'm going to have a cash crunch in another 3 months, I will start saving my money in my pocket. That's preventive. Start preventing yourself. The same can happen in project. You will have a corrective action or it can be preventive action. There is something called as a defect repair. That is which went to the customer and they are showing back that it's not going well. So now, whenever you see a change request, you should think something like this in an exam perspective. It can be of a process change. It could be a product change. When a change comes in, the change can be of a corrective action, preventive action, or defect repair. Now, when you keep this in mind, I'll tell you most of the change request questions in the examination will be easy for you. And also in the real time, you'll understand from where the change is coming. When you are in leadership position, if we understand what kind of change is requested and how to tackle these changes, I'll tell you, we will solve most of the problem. Most of the project get into trouble only when we don't handle the changes properly. None of the project will go as we plan. We would have planned something, but it won't happen that way. It definitely have changes. But the leadership style, the manager gets success only when the person is able to handle the changes effectively. It's the thumb rule. Now, the change is coming in, it's being recorded whether to accept or reject. Accept or reject. Now, who does it? It is done by a team called as Change Control Board. It's also called as CCB. And this CCB is a team, it's a group of people. Who all will be in the team? The team consists of you as a manager, and along with you, your key stakeholders, your sponsors. It could be some of the SMEs in the market. Everybody join. That's called as Change Control Board. And this Change Control Board will look at the change recommended, and they accept or reject. They have both right. But when you accept it, you have to give a justification why we accept it. Because before we accepting, we would done impact analysis. By making this change, will it derail the project or it will make the project to move forward? When you reject the project, you have to give justification why this change can't be done. If it is a specification change or if it is a process change, why it can't be done. That should be justified. Now, doing that, it makes that information record in a log which is called as change log. Why I'm explaining all this information here is you should understand what is change request, what is change log. A change request is something like a request of change, and a change log will have both accepted and rejected change. Because only when your team, the team which is working on the project knows that there is a change log, and then change log has something called accepted change, then they start working on it. See, a construction work comes out, a new apartment or new building to be constructed. In the first stage of the planning, they gave us a 2 floors block to be constructed with the 3 balconies. And after some time, the customer is coming to you telling that, I know we wanted 3 balconies. Now we are looking for a 4th balcony facing the east, where I want to see the sun coming up, rise very beautifully. Now you can't say no, and you do all analysis and you tell to the customer, hey, you know what? If I'm going to add the 4th balcony, the dollar will go high. The time we deliver will go different. Are you fine about it? And your sponsor and the stakeholder says that we are comfortable. Without this new balcony, I don't feel a value to my home. Can you please add it? So you do all the analysis, work out on the process, and then accept it. Once you accept it along with your stakeholders, along with the sponsor, that information will be recorded in the change log. Now, your team already working on the components under the project management plan, which talks about a home with a 3 balcony, it's going on. Now I have to inject one more document, the change log, to my team, telling them that, guys, you're doing a good job with a 3 balcony home, but now the customer is asking one more balcony, for which we did the root analysis. We designed the architect diagram changes. We made the scope changes. We made a time changes. We made a cost changes. Now you have to work it out. Now I'll pass this document to my team and the team will start working. It is easy just like to say here. In reality, it will be something you will call your team and explain your team clearly what is the scope of it, why we are doing it, what is the purpose of it. Everything being explained and the team will take the work. By the way, Eric and Steve, is change request understandable now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's great.
happens all the time.
I like the way all the time because change request is a one kills a project manager life, because they give a change request in middle of the project or in the closing stage of the project, where we won't even have time to think, can we change it or not? So that's very tough, crucial. So we as a leader has all the responsibility to decide to accept it or to say reject it. But if you reject it, you should be very clear, careful and clear on rejection, because rejection can bring customer satisfaction points down. So be very careful on that point. Good, good observations. Let's keep moving on. Okay, I just put requirement traceability matrix to show that if a requirement comes in, it have a trace of it. When it came in, where is it now? It's a general process followed in every requirement. In software, they follow something Jira. In Jira, they have every requirement came in, where is it, who is doing, everything will be recorded. If not, in other industry, they have their own specific tools to follow it. I will tell even Excel sheet can help us. In Excel sheet, will record when the requirement came in, who is doing, where is it now, when it will be delivered. Nothing but traceability. I took one template, I believe. Let me show if I have. I don't have a template. Okay, there is a template in PMI, PMP. I will share the documents bit later on that. And I was talking about PMIS, that is Project Management Information System, which has process, people, and tools coming together. I was talking about the tools. Something could be your email is a PMIS tool, your Outlook box or your Gmail is a PMIS tool, which helps to connect the people in the process. Ideally, you're going to connect the two with the tool what we have. You have to delegate the work. You have to follow the work. This all happens in PMIS. I put one more image to show you how a PMIS look like. It can be your calendar, any document, dashboard, your photos, documents. It could be anything which helps you to connect with the team and allocate the work and make the work move forward. So that's talks about PMIS. And I was keep iterating for some time, saying that there is something called direct and managed project work, where the team is doing the work. Here, the team is doing the work, and the team does the work. When the team do the work, they give two things. One is deliverables, other one is work performance data. When you say work performance data, it is the actuals, right? So when the actuals where the team is doing the work, and this is being passed to all the 9 areas where we have the control. If you remember the Fortnite process sheet, in the Fortnite process sheet, we have all this scope, control, schedule control, cost control, quality control everywhere. Now this actual is passed to this processes to understand how we are progressing. Only when you know the actuals, we get the work performance information as an output, which is nothing but decision making, which is used for decision making. So the team does the work here, that becomes an actuals that is being passed into the control system. Here they do the variance analysis. With the actual, they do the variance. They'll be in a position to make a decision. So a data is being converted into information. If you follow with me, a data is being converted into information. Yeah, we have a data, we know where we are, how we are progressing. Now that will make us to make a monitor and control the project work. It's nothing but you watch yourself where we are, right? So if you do everyday workout in a gym and you go for exercise, the actual says that I'm doing 5 days of exercise, and you watch out the control factor and you see the variance, how I thought to be, where I am now. Now you try to make a decision out of it. I'm staying fit, or I have to do a little more exercise. It's in a day-to-day process we do, but when it comes to project, it will be a little more systematic to do this process. I have a couple of slides, I believe. Yeah, I'm putting the same thing in a different form here. If you see here, execution process and performance data pass in, control process happens here, and work performance information, and becomes a integration control. There is nothing but data becomes an information here, and only when the information you get it on, you can pass it to as a report. A report is nothing but going to be a KPI. If you're aware of KPI, key performance indicators, which your top management or executives would like to see. KPI talks about how much your progress. We have completed 10% of the work. We have increased the share value of the company. So KPI talks about key performance indicators of how much we are performing. What's the results there? See, this is a raw data. When you see here as a raw data, it has been converted into information. The information will be converted into reports. Only these KPIs I can share with my stakeholders. The stakeholders here can be my senior manager, maybe my leadership team, my CEOs, or it could be of your sponsors, end users. That's what stakeholders here. It could be your team. Your team would like to know how you're progressing. You have to give them. If you remember, there is something called town hall happens in every organization. The town hall is generally, this is what going to happen. In town hall, they share the KPIs, how we are progressing, where are we, and they see some action item on that. And also we have some change control. Change control is if when you see the KPIs, you come to know how we are progressing. Now we can introduce some process change or a product change to make sure we reach the end goal, right? You participated in a town hall by any chance, both Eric and Steve? No. Okay.
No.
No, okay. In organizations, they have something called town hall, where the top executives and directors of the company come over and give presentation of how we are progressing. That information is nothing but the KPIs and reports. They'll show the bigger forum, bigger screen, and explain how the company is moving towards a end goal, how they are progressing, and that will help everybody to keep in the same page, saying that, oh yeah, we are working towards a goal like this. So for that, we need information to be shared. But in our circle, when you are a manager, you should know in your project what is a KPI. In organization level, there will be some KPIs, that is key performance indicators. Same way in your project, you should know how we are progressing. So that's very important for us to be aware of. Right. And yeah, I will explain this project manager knowledge, and then we'll take a break of 10 minutes. Now, manage project knowledge. What I did is I didn't explain this to you when I was showing the different slide. Why? Because I kept it hold to explain that it is it's a purely a knowledge recording of how the team is progressing. This is newly introduced in PMBOK 6th edition for the PMP, and this is a pure agile concept. In agile, they have something called, I mean, when I say agile way of doing project, they have something called retrospective. They have something called daily stand-up. What they do is, ideally, the end is, they meet frequently to understand how we are progressing. And when they meet and discuss about it, there will be some good and bad information. Both will be recorded, and if they feel some improvement can be done, they will quickly adapt that improvement within a couple of weeks. The idea here is, early days, when there is a mistake in a project, we'll come to know only after the project gets closed or when the project is end. And that is too late. If a project is having some problem, we'll come to know only after 3 months. And we realize that, oh man, this should have been corrected earlier on. This is a mistake happened for so many years. Now what they're doing is, don't wait for a long duration. The expectation is, then and there, if you find an issue or a problem or a good thing, record it and pass it to the team and let the team make the correction immediately. And there's a new style of agile way. And now that's being adopted into PMP. That's why we have this manage project knowledge. Now what they do is, whenever the work is happening, the team will record the deliverables, what's being given, and also what are the lessons learned out of that. They record all these lessons on a consistent basis under knowledge management by doing active listening, leadership, networking, political awareness, under again interpersonal skills. I will just help you with that one other slide. I mean, this one. If you see here, if you're able to see the screen well, I will just show you what it is here. This is a managed project knowledge. When the team is working here, they record what the team is doing on a consistent basis. It is to keep in track that what is the team doing, is there any improvement expected there. And this particular area was not there in PMP previous version. So now they brought it down to make sure that we understand that then and there record what is important for the team. When we do that, your team will be aware of the changes immediately rather waiting in the close of the project. And that calls us lessons learned registry. I'll just put something here for your understanding. There is something called lessons learned registry registered, and this will go and join under a bigger group called as lessons learned repository. All right, so okay, to make very little clear, the lessons learned registry is something like registry is something like a recording which happen consistently, whereas lessons learned repository is at a higher level. A repository is a database under which it get recorded. So every time when something you do in a team on every week or every month on every day, that goes into lessons learned registry. And this registry will be put under the something called repository when you close the project. This will happen at the closing stage of the project or a phase. We will do repository recording at the stage of close project or phase. When you do that, you put into repository, and this is really happening on a daily basis. So registry will be of a daily basis, you record it, and repository will be of end of close of the project or a phase, we put it down. So that we have a collection of information, and this all will go under fall under one category, which is called as process assets. Do you remember this organizational process assets? Which comes here. If you see here, you will see this here. This is what we are seeing here. Organizational process assets. And if you noticed it, in every process group, you will have EEF and OPA. And nothing but they have the lessons learned record inside this. So that when I do the next module, I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I'll open up and read the lessons learned here. That will help me with a lot of information. So that's what managed project knowledge all about. So managed project knowledge means you record the knowledge of the project on a consistent basis. On a daily basis, you record the information. It may be little information, but accumulated together, it will give a lot of tons of information for the team. Also, we record what are the deliverables we actually delivering it to the team. That will also be recorded down. So this is purely of a knowledge base to keep in track of what we are doing and for the upcoming projects. That's why I talk about managed project knowledge. Okay, shall we take a break of 10 minutes now? Will that be good for the team?
Yeah, that'd be good. I'm ready.
Yeah, sure. Okay, we'll take a 10 minutes break. We'll come back and start the process. I'm back. Yeah, buzz me once we are ready. Oh, Eric is there. Good. Steve, you are good? So, Eric, today will be your hydration end day for Wednesday or Thursday. When is your sprint closing day in a week? I think Eric, you was in mute.
I am here.
Oh, welcome back, Steve.
It'll actually be on Thursday this week because it got pushed because of this.
Okay. Okay. So the code freeze would have happened on Friday.
It was supposed to have, but something always comes up and got snuck in on Monday, so pushed it back a day.
So some change requests has come in and it's changing your game.
Exactly.
Are you enjoying this agile journey?
Did I hear you're getting a freeze down there in Florida?
No, he was talking about a code freeze.
Oh, code freeze. I was saying, yeah, it's freaking colder than hell here in Arizona too. We're supposed to get a freeze tonight and tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah,
No,
I didn't move to the freaking desert for freezing temperatures. If I wanted that, I would have stayed in Wisconsin.
Okay. Okay. Good, understand. Fine. Okay, hope you'll catch up something for dinner. So we'll proceed for another 1 more hour, 1.5 hours. Okay. So we'll move on. In a sense, what we're going to do, we're going to just take it out, clear it out. Okay, a few more processes. We'll be good with the PMP subject by now. I will take you furthermore. Okay, I just want to show you some of the deliverables. Deliverables means sometimes we think it's always a finished product. No, it could be some of the prototypes being shared with the customer. It could be some of the test cases a team delivered, or some of the software done, or it could be some of the finished product, right? So this all can be of deliverables. It's not always it's going to be finished one. It could be of interim deliverables also can be there. I was talking about lessons learned. I think I gave detail on that, but just want to reiterate here. If you see here in this last sentence, yep, at the end of the project or a phase, the information is transferred to organization process assets called as lessons learned repository. I'll tell a repository is an ocean where lessons learned registry is a stream of water. It keeps
I have a
flowing.
quick question for you.
Yes.
And as far as your lessons learned, what exactly, when they're talking
Okay.
about lessons learned, what kind of lesson is there? What kind of lessons are they talking about? Just
Yeah, good. Thanks for opening the question. In fact, what we'll do is, more than I'm explaining it, let's read the first sentence here. A lessons learned registry can include the category and description of the situation. The lessons learned registry may also include the impact, recommendations, and proposed actions. It is recording the incidents, what's happening in the project. It means it could be a Word, it could be Excel, it could be an internet web page where you type in and store the information, what's happening in the project. The lessons learned registry may record challenges, problems, realized risk, and opportunities or other content as appropriate. You are recording everything which is happening in a project for a future reference purpose, for a tracking purpose. It could be a Word document or it could be an Excel sheet. It is helping or going to help the team to understand what is happening in the project or what happened in the project, right? That's how it is. In our day-to-day life, you have your memories. Today something happened, you record it in your memory. The next day morning you wake up, you recall what happened yesterday. Or imagine you missed your some of the key in some place, and the next time you know that if I keep my car key or my door key in a place, there is a chance I will miss it out. So it is a lessons learned registry in your brain which you recorded it. But when it comes to project, we have to record in any common place so that every team member can see that and learn something out of it. And that is going to be a common lessons learned register, a registry, which you keep all the information of what's happening in the project. And this is well done with a good amount of tools in the market. Nowadays, some teams record it as audio. They have a common session, talk to each other, and keep an audio recording of it. And every team member will talk what happened in the project. That will be kept as audio recording. Some team does as a video recording. Some team type it and store it as a Word document. So end of day, the goal is what happened in the project, which is going to be used for the upcoming days. Is that answering your question, Steve?
I think so. It's basically listing all the lumps you've taken in the project.
Yeah. Do you record anything information in your project? What happened so far, kind of things?
I take a lot of lumps in my projects. I try to avoid them.
Okay. If you see here, the lessons learned registry is created as an output of this process early in the project. Thereafter, it is used as input and updated as an output. It means that you keep updating consistently here and there. That is, you record what's happening consistently. I think Eric would be doing that in his Jira tickets. Eric, you do with the Jira is a tool you use? I think Eric is in mute mode.
Yeah, Jira is what the communication program uses, right?
Exactly, you got it. It's a communication medium. So they use it's a software where they record what is happening in the project in a consistent way.
Okay.
So it helps them to keep track of what's happening. Okay. Saying that now
just out of curiosity, is that an app I can download? Or is that an app you have to buy?
It'll be something like wait,
JIRA. Is it just JIRA?
Yeah. If you
Jira
type
Cloud.
Okay, you see here. If you see the screen, Jira is issue tracking product developed by Atlassian that allows bugs tracking and agile project management. Right. So it can be used by anyone. It doesn't mean only this person can use it.
I like the fact that it's named after Godzilla too.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Did you see that? It's the Japanese word for Godzilla. I love this program. Yeah, if they could somehow integrate Sasquatch into this, it'd be the perfect software.
This is about 90% of my day.
Yeah, I know. Eric lives with this. Eric life is going with Jira.
And I hate them.
The more you live with something, you'll hate it. You know that? Okay. Yeah, I know it eats all of your energy. Is that correct, Eric? But you know what?
And I don't like their model because every time you want to go and do something, you have to buy a plug. You have to buy a plugin, and then
man, they have run the business.
When you want the extra features, but then the thing is, if I need the extra feature for just me, I can't just buy just me. We have to pay for all the users. So it's
come on. Okay. So what they'll do for the food? You have to give some money for them. How do they do?
Well, I just find other ways to do it.
See, you have other ways also. Okay, I'm not sure I'm able to access it. That's a long time I did. Probably I'll show later part to Steve on this. Okay, I don't have a login now. Okay, point is it'll look a tool which is good enough to handle things. Yeah, I want to show you for Steve purpose. Steve, you seeing that? What you see in the screen? It'll have a
Yeah.
list of project items, and to be specific, I want to show you something like this. I know Eric don't want to see that, but still for Steve purpose, I'm showing it.
It's already open in one of the other tabs.
Eric ate it to the core. Okay, I want to show it. Yeah, this is how it look, Steve. If you see here, do you see here the number,
Yep.
right? Update local transport. Some information is here. This could be one of the tasks given to the team. And if you see here, extend booking experience, it could be one of the tasks given to the team. It will be assigned to the person here. I don't know who's this. This guy got this task to do it. And person A, person B, person C, and they'll give some points here, 6, 9, 8. It means that within 6, it depends. It can be 6 days. It could be 6 hours. How much of time it will take for them to complete this task. Once you complete it, you'll record the information here. Nothing but it is a task to be completed. It is closed now. If not, it will be open, in progress. It will have some status here. So they'll track it out. So it's a good tracking system, ideally. That's it.
Okay.
So okay, it's useful. It's useful depending on how your project is aligned with. And nowadays, I'm seeing many corporates are using it because it's open source. But like Eric mentioned, certain things you have to buy. But still, generally, it's open source. Okay. You remember I was showing some bunch of documents to you and Eric. Like these are all the PMP documents, say 18 plus 33 documents. If you put every document into one place, that is called as Jira. Now Jira will have every information in one place. You no need to go and create new documents. Every document, every purpose is solved here. You go inside, you know who are the stakeholders. You see the pictures here. These are all stakeholders. You know what is the work to be done. The timeline is here. The cost will not come out here. That will be in a different direction. But generally, it holds every information of the project. It's a good tool, but depends on your project need. Okay, I think Steve got some new idea today.
Yeah. That's open source.
Okay.
Let me download and look at it. Maybe I can use that for the stuff I'm doing.
Yeah, it'll help.
Actually, Steve, you might be better off using what he has up right now. This Trello board.
Oh, okay.
Because
Yeah.
this is essentially like the functionality from Jira that you need, but probably would fit what you do for work a lot better.
It is. It's kind of a Gantt chart. We 100 years back. You know how the Gantt chart came in? You are aware of a Gantt chart?
I'm not familiar with a Gantt chart.
Okay, Gantt chart is a very famous guy.
I'm going to look at that tomorrow.
Yeah, it is all the project management basic tools which has been used for so many years. Okay, if you see here, how can I show it? I believe this is the one. If not, also see there is a guy called Henry Gantt. Okay, he in 1917, when at the time of a World War II is going on, and there was a demand to come out with efficient tool or efficient way of conducting a project within the scope, within the time, within the schedule. And this guy Henry Gantt came up really well. He brought out the idea of something could be systemized. Henry Gantt, okay. He is a gentleman who came out with the idea of bring out a systematic way of project execution. And he was the one originator of this concept called Gantt chart. Go ahead. Yeah, this concept came from him. Nothing, but it's not a rocket science. It's something like do a work in a sequenced way. People know this even before Henry said this, because people are doing Egyptian building. They were doing big, massive constructions even before 100 years. Last 5,000 years, people are doing it, but nobody recorded it how they did it. But Henry Gantt came in and said that, hey, put in a calendar, June, July, August, September, October. who will do what. Smith will do this, Eric will do this, Stephen will do this. And that systematic flow was very new to the project management. And he introduced in 1970. It's almost 102 years back introduced. And that's still, it's in process. If you check the Gantt chart, it is very famous and still running on. And that's nothing but the sequencing. Put Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. See, human being love to work in sequence. Human being love to work in a system if someone says to them. It is not people hate system. People like system, but if you tell in a right way, people love to follow it. So that system they're trying to bring in, and this guy is very famous on that. He really did it, and it's been really followed now. 100 years back, they used whiteboard to write something like this. This guy is writing here, right? Something like this. And say 20 years back, Bill Gates took over and it came on MS Office. It came on a Word, Excel sheet. And then they came with MS Project, if you heard about it. There is something called MS Project. They fill in, yeah, that's nothing, the matured stage of Gantt chart. Now what Eric is seeing here, it's again matured stage of Gantt chart, right? This is a matured stage. The point is, you know what need to be done, you know who is going to do it, put in a system, that's it. But how do you put it? That's what differing. You have n number of tools, a software. Today it's Jira, tomorrow it will be something else. But end of day, the goal is what Henry's Gantt chart is going to happen, right? There is something Trello, it's another software group. Is that right, Eric? Trello is a different group, right?
No, it's owned by
Jira?
it's owned by Atalassian.
Do you read this, Eric?
Yeah. So
Okay,
true.
true.
So true.
I believe you wrote this comment. Let me read this down. Is it your name there? Okay. By the way, what I see as a project management style is, you see, after 50 years, if you look out, these tools won't be there. It'll be something new will be there. See, as a human civilization and human movement is moving from year after year, something new keeps coming up. But one thing is very constant. It's something like people love to do in a sequenced way. People love to do in a systematic way. So for that reason, we bring a lot of tools. But I'm not interested on the tools. I'm interested to learn the basis of this tool. So when you want to learn the basis of the tool, that will come back to PMP. So PMP is nothing but it tries to say all the basis. If you look out this chart, I'll tell this chart is not new. It is there for so many hundreds and thousands of years. The way of doing the project. And these are nothing but the ingredients to make a system in flow. You can, if you learn this, you can use any tool in the world. But if you know that there is something called stakeholders, there is something called cost management, there is something called communication management. If you're expert in this field, if you know expertise on this knowledge, today it's Jira, tomorrow it can be different tool, but we know how to use it. That's my understanding about the project management process. Okay, let's get inside. What we do is we were spending some time here. Okay, we'll move to the monitor and control. Okay, as you are aware now, monitor and control means whenever you see the monitor, it means you are trying to watch out, are we doing as per the plan? From where the plan is now, the plan will sit here. The plan is, okay, the plan is here. Here is a plan. Here we have all the plans, project management plan. You take the plans, you take some of the issues. Issues means the misunderstanding or conflicts or ups and downs within the team. You take all those stuff. You take some of the reports to see how things are moving. And I specifically ask you to look at the forecast. If you are a leader, if you are a manager, you are expected to be good at forecasting. You should know what's going to happen next. If you're going to deliver what is asked for to deliver, then it is not managerial style. That is not leadership. That anybody can do it. If a task is given, a person is going to execute it, that anybody can do it. But only when you start forecasting, the leadership skill starts coming out. It means we are able to predict certain things. Predict what? Predict on the input data. You have some data with you, with that you predicted. Why the weather forecast is very important. We should know that. Is it going to be snowing or it's going to be raining? We should know about it. How do they forecast? They look at the record of last 100 years. They take last 100 years of record. They know that from January to December, this is how it will happen. and they predict that in the month of December, at the date of 22, it's going to snow heavily. It's all by predicting and forecasting, and that predict and forecasting should happen from the leadership level. And for that reason, we need all these inputs. Okay. Now, taking that information, and you also have the agreements. Why we need agreements is we need to know how our third party is working on our project. I'll reiterate it. We thought of a project like a BMW X model car. In that car, you have to give an audio system. Now, you are the manager of the BMW X model car, but you know that your company can't do audio system. You go to Sony Corporation to do for the audio. Now, when your project is being monitored, when you're monitoring your project, you should also monitor how the Sony Corporation is working, right? You have to keep a watch on them because that's also part of your project. Now, you look at the agreement, you look at what's your team plan is, and you start doing the comparison. That's what we have earned value analysis. I think this area probably we discussed in cost management. I believe Steve missed out that session. Maybe you have to relook at the video once, Steve. We talked about earned value analysis. That is, earned value is nothing but how much we planned, how much we earned. So that analysis happens. We do also variance analysis. We compare against what we planned and what we are doing. When we do that, it becomes a report. If you remember, report is a KPI, key performance indicator. If things are good, we are happy. If not good, it becomes a change request. And this is the monitor and control project work. And without monitor and control, your project cannot move forward. It is easy to say that I have the efficient team in the world. I have made efficient planning in the world. I'm sure the project will work well. We can assure it, but still there are chances mistakes can happen, right? It can happen. See, even though we have a great football team playing in the ground, we always have a lineman running on the line track to check out is there anybody stepping out or doing any foul or any mistakes in the game. You see that in a football match, you have a referee there, you have a guy with a flag running over the line to keep on checking is it intact. Even the world top two best teams are playing in the football match. Do you think you can play without a referee? No, you can't. You need a referee to keep a watch. Things are going well. I know I see Ronaldo playing there, Maradona playing there. It could be of top players in the world. Brazil is playing there in football. I know Spain is playing there in football. But they're the topmost country or topmost team in the world. But that doesn't mean that I can stop monitor and control. No, always there should be monitor and control. Whatever team it is, whatever level of planning it is, there is a chance of mistakes happening. There is a chance of could be error coming up. So we need to have a watch on it. We being in a leadership position, even though we have an extraordinary team, even though we have extraordinary planning, this kind of analysis is needed to understand how we are progressing. If not, it's going to be slightly tougher for us. Right, saying that, let's move. There is work performance report. Let's read this line. Work performance reports are that physical or electronic representation of work performance information compiled in project documents. I will show the list of documents. It could be of status reports, memos, justification, some of the recommendation updates. It's purely of a report at a higher level, which talks about how the project is progressing so that our upper management get a clarity of where we are going, right? I put this page to make you understand the three things: work performance data, information, report. I would expect Steve and Eric to read the first two lines of each of this topic. Please spend a couple of minutes to read through this. Just let me know what understanding you're getting out of it.
Report form, formal reports. Okay.
Okay, got some details.
Yeah, I've read through each one a couple times.
Okay, fine. Point I want to bring up here is these three are very core of a PMP flow, where we get the work performance data, which is a basic raw data. When I say raw, actual cost, actual schedule of the project. They always use the word actual. It means that what is currently happening in the team. That is called as work performance data. By the way, PMP has termed it as work performance data. You may be using in a different name in your day-to-day life. But why I say this term is you should know PMI term when you go for the real exam. That's the reason I'm saying it's a PMI terms. When it goes to work performance information, your data, which is actual, will be matured to next level. That is called as information. And this information is vital for decision making or forecasting, right? See, I cannot tell my low level information to my upper management. I have to convert it into information. I should say decision. I should say that my team of 5 people worked last 2 weeks and our project has progressed 10%. That is information. I cannot say that my 10 people are working in my team. I can't say like that. I have to say that for the matured stage, that is a growth. I can able to forecast certain things. When you do that, the next maturity of the data is reports. It becomes a formal reports which shows the status of the project, which could be of a KPI if you know about key performance indicators. And this is how in any organization, the data gets moved forward. And this is what the final report the upper management presented in a bigger forum, like something called town hall. They presented telling that, you know what, our organization is moving 5% in top. Our share value was going high. So they all presented as a report here. This all comes from data into information. The lowest level, it is data where we work in a team. I just put this slide for so that you get an idea when you see some questions in examination, you should understand that data is converted into information, information is converted into report. Okay, let's move. And I was talking about change control, where a change control is perform integrated change control is a CCB. That is, you'll have change control board, CCB, change control board. And the CCB is what here. If you see here, you have a change control tool. There's nothing but CCB. Now, what the CCBs do is they will take all the baselines here. They will take the reports. When I say reports, the high level information, and also they check the change request. So far, you have seen the change request as output in many processes. And this is the only process it becomes an input. What it means? It means this department is responsible for taking the change request, consult the change request, and make it as a approved changes. Right. So what happened is a change request could be of, I was talking about in a home construction where the customer is asking for a fourth balcony in their home. Now the fourth balcony is a change request and that is a product change. I was talking about process change and product change, right? And Steve put it very rightly. Product change is going to be of a specification or requirement, right? There could be some changes coming up. So when the changes come up here as a product change, you cannot just like the change it because you made a home construction plan with the 3 balconies and you made a costing, time factor, your architecture design, everything's planned on that. And the middle of the project, after 3 months, your customer is coming to you and asking for, can you add one more balcony? You cannot just like that accept it. What to do? You take it to the CCP board. The CCP board consists of you, your technical experts team, sponsors, key stakeholders. It's a bunch of people. This team all sit together and analyze it. If I'm going to add a fourth balcony in this home construction, will it have an impact? If it have an impact, how much of impact? All this analysis will happen. They even talk about alternative ways to do it. They also talk about the cost benefits we gain out of it. This all discussion happen, and finally they find out, yes, we have to add it, and we can do it. Once they approve it, that becomes a approved change request. If they don't approve it, it will become a rejected one. So what will happen is, you will record approved, unapproved changes here. Where you will record it? You will record it under change log. Under change log, you will add either approved and unapproved. Both will be added up here, and that's called change log. Now a change request came in, and that's going to be of a change control board, and the board will decide whether to accept it or reject it. If they accepted it, it's called approved changes. If it rejected it, it will call as unapproved changes. Whether you approve or unapprove, both will be recorded under change log. Is this flow clear for Eric and Steve?
I think so.
Okay. Is it getting a bit tougher? Let me know if you want clarification. I can explain it. Okay. Just I'm connecting my power card. Okay, connected my power. Yes, it's better now. Okay, good. Now, okay, that's about the change control, where change control board is a CCB board. We take action based on the demand from the customer. Now, I'll take to next level. Changes, how people accept changes. Change is the toughest part, where people don't like to accept it. In the sense of, when a change comes in, people feel very shocked at the beginning, frustration will be there, depression will be there, and they experiment it slowly, then they start accepting it, and then only the integration will happen. Why I put the slide here is, as being a leadership position, we should expect some kind of shock from the team whenever you announce a new change. For yourself, first you will get a shock. Not everybody accepts the change as it is, and people may reject it, people may confront it, people can go resist it. A lot can happen. But if the change is good for the team, good for the project, we should be consistent on the flow. We should be able to stand still and make it happen. So changes is a bit tougher area, where people don't accept just like that. We have to work it out. It is easy to say that process change and product change, but in reality, change is very tough. It is so hard to make it happen. So we have to have a consistent flow on that. Saying that, I was just putting some image here to show you the changes, how it happened in real life. You see approved change requests. There are some softwares being followed where they record the change, when it came, who gave the change, is it accepted or rejected. That's also being recorded. And they have a change log. In change log, we'll record it. But here it is something data being recorded. What was the change? Who gave the change? Is it good or bad? All will be recorded here. So changes should be tracked out, because a change will derail the project. We should be careful enough on recording the changes details. Now we have moved the last process of 49 processes. So for the last more sessions, we are working on a good amount of processes. Now we are in the last one, which is talking about close the project. If you see here, in a closed project, the important input is accepted deliverables. This is when the customer says verify it in an area called validate scope. I will go back to show you. Okay, in validate scope, this is the area. After the work is done by the team, it comes to control scope. In control scope, it will become a verified deliverables. It will come to validate scope. In validate scope, we do UAT. If you remember it, on the first day I was saying that it's called UAT. After UAT, that is user acceptance testing. Once this is done, it will move to the close project. Right? This is the flow I was explaining to you, and we are now in close project. In close project, it will be called as accepted deliverables. So here it comes verified deliverables. A verified deliverables goes to the customer. Customer verifies it, and it becomes a accepted deliverables. If I put it clear, I'll show you here now. And that's what you're seeing is as accepted deliverables here. It means the customer has went through all the deliverables being shared. It could be of interim deliverables. It's a phase one, phase two deliverables. It could be a final product which the customer wants. When we receive the deliverable, we also take all the logs. We also take all the reports. If you see here, change log is there, issue log is there, reports are here, registry is there. We compare it. That's called variance analysis. When we deliver it, we don't just like to deliver it. We'll also compare, are we delivering what the customer is looking for? And we compare it and say that, yes, that's a final product which the customer is looking for. When we do that, we also record the lessons learned registry. Lessons learned registry, as Steve was asking, it's going to be of information about the project, telling what happened, what's happening, and what we deliver. All the information will be recorded down. And there is one important thing in closed project which is called as final report. In this final report, we will be recording every information from the top to bottom, what has been asked for the customer on what we deliver it. I believe I have a slide for it. Okay. This is the final report. In the final report, we'll have a summary level of description. What is the scope? What quality we deliver it? What is the cost of it? Summary objectives, summary of validation, summary of how the final product is, summary of any risk. Like when you start with a charter, it was a high level summary of what they want. Now, when you close the project, there is something called final report. We'll have summary of all the information what we deliver it. It is to just give an information of what is asked, are we giving there. When you do that, that's called final report. I will go one slide back. Okay. Deliverable versus accepted deliverable. I want to reiterate this. A deliverable comes out of direct and managed project work, and that goes to the control quality where it becomes verified deliverables. And from there, it goes to validate scope, which becomes an accepted deliverable. So it's a journey. Deliverable become verified, verified become accepted. Only when it is accepted, you will close the project. If it is not accepted, it will go back to the team. Team has to redo the work. Again, it come to quality, again come to scope, then it will be close the project, right? This is the flow. Okay, by now we got little idea about integration management. So in integration management, what we do is we are developing the charter and then making the team to do all the plan. When the plan is there, we make the team to do the work. When the work is happening, we record the knowledge of what the team is doing, and it gives the deliverables and it gives work performance data. Deliverables will walk through the stage and it becomes a verified and accepted deliverables. Work performance data helps us to make a decision on where are we, how we are progressing. And when all are good on a final stage of the project, we go to the close of the project or a phase. When you close the project, you record all the information, what we did in the project as a summary. And that will be presented to our key stakeholders. That makes us to understand the integration management. Good. Any questions on integration management before you go and see some questions?
I think I'm about as ready as I'm going to be.
Okay. So we'll see a couple of questions here. Try the questions here.
That would be A.
Okay. Okay. I will reread the last sentence. Which one of the major driving force for communication on a project? Major driving force. Okay.
Can't optimize your performance if everybody's not on the same page.
Can be optimization. Okay. I'm having slightly between two answers here. One is optimization, other one is integration. Anyway, let's wait for the answer, but I'm also looking at the integration. because that's a major driving force for communication where I try to integrate everyone into one umbrella. Mhm. But your answer talks about optimizing better utilization of the resources. Anyway, we'll wait for a minute to see the right answer. Meantime, try the second one.
Customer has accepted the completed project scope. However, the lessons learned required by the project management office have not been completed. What is the status of the project?
Sorry.
B, like boy.
Okay, let me listen from Steve also.
By the project, the customer has accepted the completed project scope. The lessons learned required by the project management office have not been completed. What is the status of the project? Incomplete until the project and product deliverables are complete and accepted. Customer has accepted the completed project. I'm going to go with C on that second one.
Okay. Okay. Let's listen the justification from Eric. Eric, why do you go with B?
I mean, the only other item. I mean, it seemed like the best because the project is incomplete.
Incomplete. Okay. You feel that since they are not delivered the lessons learned registry to the PMO, it looks incomplete, right? That's what you feel.
Right,
Okay.
it might be complete as far as the customer goes because they've accepted it, but it may not be complete from an overall standpoint.
Okay. Let me listen from Steve. Steve, why you go with C?
Because once the customer's accepted everything and you've completed the scope, the project is complete.
Okay. Now I'll give the highlight of it. Yeah, you have something more, Steve?
I'm just trying to think. The project is completed on one aspect.
Okay. Now the point is when I underlined the project management office, it is a PMO. PMO office is a PMO is a very important stakeholder in a project. We have a stakeholder register we prepared on the first day. The stakeholder register says that who is important in the project. So PMO is an important person who should know what is happening in the project and what has happened in the project. Lessons learned registry or lessons learned is one of the deliverable of the project. Even though we deliver the finished product to the customer, if we don't deliver what is required by our PMO office, it means we have not completed the project properly. Your customer received it, fine. But do your PMO office know that what you did? Are we communicating them? If you miss that communication, the project is not complete. So the answer would go to incomplete status.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how they say. So that's the reason I put an underline on project management office because they're the very key stakeholder in a project. Every organization will have a PMO office and they should know what we delivered, where are we. Then they formally announce that the project is closed. Then only a project manager can come out of that project and move to the new project. So what Eric saw the answer is correct. It shows about project is incomplete until all project, you have to underline this part, all project and product deliverables are complete. Here they done only 95%, they missed the last 5%. That's a data. Okay, now let's see the answer. I
Okay.
hear doubt with the integration because that's a driving force of communication, but I'm getting answer from Steve as optimization. Let me also relook at the answer. It goes to integration. The project manager is an integrator. This is a question about your role as integrator and communication. Shall we look at the question again? What is one of the major driving forces for communication on a project? The question is slightly misleading. It is not asking about role here. They're saying that what is a major driving force. I think that's why Steve went with optimization. But as I look from a different dimension, I feel driving force will be to integrate the people, integrate the team together. So that's what I was seeing as answer.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah, that's how I'm seeing it here. Okay. That's a C and B. B goes again for what Eric was answering, like it's incomplete. Okay, we will see other set of questions. Okay, last 3 questions of a whole PMP. I'm not going to bug you with more questions here on.
One project is likely to change your Your attention is best focused on which of the following regarding changes in your project. Tracking, making changes. No. Tracking and recording. Yeah, it could be tracking. Formula steps. Necessary
I will give a keyword here. Your attention is best focused. You being a manager there, right? And what will be your attention highly focused on?
I'm thinking it's going to be kind of torn between B and C, but I think I'm going to go with B.
You want to tracking and recording the changes.
Yes,
that can be an option. That's also an option. That's also one of the answer. But there is something more best in this 4 choices.
See, I'm torn between A and D, but I would go with D.
You want to go with the D? Okay. Can you justify why?
Well, if you can prevent unnecessary changes, then you can do a better job keeping the project on track.
You got the word unnecessary. Yes. Steve, this is right in the sense you need to track it. But even before that, being a manager, this is the keyword here, unnecessary. It is not preventing changes. Preventing unnecessary changes. Your role as a leadership position, you keep a watch. Is there any unnecessary changes popping up? If it pops up, we have to control it, right? This is what we learned in control scope, where we talked about scope creep. If you remember it, in scope creep, you tell them that guys, don't give some unnecessary changes, which will derail our project. So the answer will go to preventing unnecessary changes. That's a one. But after doing that, yes, you have to track and record changes. I agree on it. But first thing is, best answer here is unnecessary changes.
Okay.
Okay, give a shot for the second question.
Oh, this one's easy. You tell them to get the hell out of your office. No money, no fun, no honey.
You made me to laugh loud. No money, no honey. Okay, from PMI perspective, what you will do when there is no money? Will you stop the work? You will close the project? You will shift it? What you will do from PMI perspective?
I would say you'd have to stop. You'd have to stop the work.
right? That's
Put it
also
up.
right answer, but there is some best choice out of 4 here. Stop is fine, I agree, but there is something more than that there.
Oh, A.
Okay. If I go to A, shift more work to later in the schedule. Okay. Now imagine if you shift the work, the team has to wait, but who will pay the package for them when they're waiting for it? Right? You can't hold it, because in a project company, when there is no work, the team has to be dispersed and moved to the other project. You can't keep them in a hold until other than your stakeholder says that I will pay salary, make them to wait. But I'm not seeing that in the question. So the choice will go to, first thing from PMI perspective is close the project. After which you have to shift and release, you do all the other answers. The first answer is close the project. Until the stakeholder explicitly says that don't close the project, wait until we say, and we'll pay the salary. Work will not happen, we pay the salary. But none of the stakeholder will say that. Stakeholder will say that, guys, we don't have money. What it means is close the project. So from PMI perspective, okay, I know we do in different way in other projects, but from PMI perspective, the first thing is you have to close the project. So that could be the right answer for here. Okay, give a shot for the last question for the PMP, what you learned.
That seems a little harsh when the customer just runs out of money because, you know.
Oh yeah.
I don't know that you. I don't know that you
Yeah.
can really. I don't know why you would close the program. I mean, you'd have to talk. You discuss with the
True.
customer.
True.
If the
True.
customer
Agree.
ran out of money, but you know, in another week, I'll be good to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. This is all after the discussion. I'm not saying we should be very brutal on them. See, the customer on a project tells the project manager they have run out of money to pay for the project. So now this would go for mutual rounds of discussion. Don't think that we are doing very brutal here. The discussion would have happened. After all the discussion, they say that, guys, we can't continue. So what can we do? We'll record it in a summary. If you remember it, we have.
I don't understand why you would just. I don't understand why you would just close the project. Why would you not first stop the work?
Yeah, it would happen implicitly. See,
I mean,
what
I
will
would think
happen is.
that you'd say, all right, well, you've run out of money. Okay, well, hold on. Let's just
Mhm,
pull back a little bit. Let's just hold off where we're at right now.
mhm, mhm.
And I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me.
You feel that we are hurting the customer too much, isn't it?
No. It's just that I don't know. I don't understand why.
Mhm,
If me as a customer, I come to you and you're doing something to me, and I say, hey, you know what? Hold on for a second. I ran out of
mhm,
money. I don't have any money to
mhm,
pay for this right now. Okay,
mhm,
and I don't understand why you would just say, all right, well, we're just going to shut the whole project down and end it, rather than just
mhm,
saying, all right, well, we'll just stop work. We can hold off. I can divert my resources to other projects
mhm, mhm.
and come
Could
back
be.
to it.
But only problem is on that time duration, how can I hold the resources? The resource could be of human resource as well the material, which I have to stock it. Now the question will come that how the company can pay that money on the timeline until we have a mutual dealing. There is a dealing says that I will stop the work for 3 months. By the time I will pay the money to handle the resources. If there is a deal on that, probably the organization will wait. If not, they will discuss mutually, understand, guys, I know that you're running out of money. Maybe we'll give a couple of weeks buffer. If it doesn't work out, we have to close the project. It won't be very brutal. The same day they close it, they'll give some buffer also, because that's a gentleman agreement they have. Now let's read this
Right, but
answer.
my point is
Mhm,
when you have that conversation with the customer and you say, well, you know, we'll put it. You're not going to be continuing if you put it off for 3 weeks. You're not going to
mhm.
continue working on that project for that 3 weeks while the customer tries to get his
Of
stuff in order.
course, of
You're going
course, of course.
you're going to stop work on it.
Yeah. Can be. When it says stop work, I can't stop the team totally. What we do is they record the information. Lessons learned will happen. Some of the products, the halfway done, they close it out. So we can't just like that say that tomorrow morning, don't we do the work. You can't do like that. It will go for some more days, some more weeks. They complete the process which is halfway. I'll try to read this answer justification here. Every project must be closed as closure provides benefit to the performing organization. This means stopping work is not the best choice. Shifting work and releasing team members will only postpone dealing with the problem, not solve it. The best thing for the project manager to do is begin the close project of SAP. See here, it's a begin. The underlying word is begin. It means that you make the team to do the work. You can't say stop the work. The team will proceed on and do the final recording out. And if there is some deliverable halfway done, you complete it and hand it over. So you move towards a close of the project. It's a journey. Don't think that right away we close it. It will be a mutual discussion with the stakeholders. We'll explain them the situation. They explain their situation. So we have a win-win at the end of the day. We stop that. Okay, guys, we're going to close the project. We hand over all the stuff and then we close it, right? For example, have you used a product called Arkut from Google?
What is it called?
Arkut, O-R-K-U-T.
I have not, no.
Okay. Are you using Google Plus now?
I think I am.
Okay, you're using, and that's going to be closed soon. Okay. Now something like this, Google had a product called Arkut, O-R-K-U-T, Arkut. It's something like a Facebook. Even before Facebook, they came into market, which social network. It doesn't go well. In fact, when I created an account, it allowed me to load videos, photos. I can chat. It is almost like a Facebook. They came before Facebook, but they didn't do it properly. And one fine day, Google realized that this Arkut is not going well. They want to close it. So when they want to close the project, they didn't close it right away. They begin the process. What they did is, as I'm being the user of this Arkut application, they sent me an email notification saying that we are going to close the project. Can you download all your videos and photos in your personal drive? So that when we close the project, you won't lose the data. And they gave me time of 30 days of time. In this 30 days time, I was downloading all the photos and videos and saved in my local folder. And after one day, I found that the project was closed totally. So closing is a beginning, closing is a process goes through with a mutual discussion between the stakeholders and the end user. But I agree completely with Steve that you shouldn't be too much brutal on them. But at the same time, if there is no fund to proceed on, you cannot run an organization. So in that dimension, it goes for a close project. I hope it is slightly touching with you, Steve.
I suppose. I don't yeah.
Still not
I guess
happy.
that's the way they say to do it. That's the way I have to.
Okay.
Look
Okay.
at
In
it.
your case, if some of your customers not paying the fund for a while, how do you handle it? You communicate to them and you say that, guys, I'm not going to do the work, or how do you handle that scenario?
Yeah, I mean, if I've got a customer and I'm building for them, and they come by and say, hey, I'm tight on cash right now.
Mm-hmm.
We'll stop work,
Mm-hmm.
and we may leave the site and come back. Leave the site and go somewhere else, but we don't close the project. I don't close the project out until unless they come back. Unless the customer comes back and says, you know what, I can't do it. I just can't. I can't finish it.
Okay.
At that point, I would then close the project out.
I got your point. Yeah, that's why I think you not feeling comfortable with this answer here.
Right. Because like I said, if he comes to me and says, I don't have any money, I can't pay, I don't have any money right now. Okay, well, whoa, then we're going to stop working on this project.
Okay.
I'll pull my resources off of it.
Right.
And,
right.
We'll give you, 15 days to get your shit in order.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of 15 days, you know what? I just don't have any money. All right, well, then we're just going to close it out and we'll be done. And you can pay us for what we did.
Right. Yeah, that looks better. I feel more than what I see answer here. Okay, I'm getting a new version from you. That's good. I think that's the way I think we have to approach it. But anyway, the PMI term talks about that, guys, have a discussion with them. Doesn't go well, begin the process of closing the project. So that's one other model being explained here. Anyway, we have different views on that particular same problem. Okay, sounds good. So what we do is we will get to the stage. So what we did is we have learned through the processes, we have learned through the knowledge areas. We have spent good time learning the knowledge areas. The knowledge areas, we say 9 knowledge areas, right? And it got integrated here. So we understood why we are doing PMP and how the PMP is working. That's what we tried to learn in the last more sessions. And this is your exam coverage, and your exam questions will be in this area. As you're going to read your PMBOK book, as you're going to read your RETA or Headfirst book, which has been shared you with the Google Drive, and that you're going to read and understand in depth. What you learned here is an highlighted idea with a little more examples. When you relook at the videos, you'll see some examples and explanation, some of the formulas being explained to get an idea of what is PMP all about. Now, the next target will be of understanding how to go towards the examination point. Before doing that, I will spend a few minutes to explain what agile concepts all about. It may not be too much of depth because that's not part of your exam syllabus, but just to understand what is agile all about. So once I say that, I'll try to give some highlight about exam approach. So that will make you to get ready for the PMP. Right. So what I do is I'll take you to agile concepts. Okay. How long you are hearing about agile? Maybe it's Eric and Steve. Are you hearing for so many years or only last 5-6 years?
Probably, I'd say like real strong the last like 4 years.
4 years. Okay, great. Steve, are you hearing agile in your cycle or in your circle?
I doubt it. Probably not. I'll know once we get into it a little bit. But I would say probably
Okay.
not.
Okay. This agile is a concept came in the year 2001. What happened is I was talking about predictive approach and adaptive approach of project management. So many years people are working in a predictive approach. That is, they thought that everything should be said in the first day so that the team can start the work. And later, the software industry came into place. They understood that a requirement gave on Monday will not be worth on Wednesday. Things would have been changed because IT is one industry where requirement change very frequently. Then they understood the predictive approach may not work. We have to go with adaptive approach, where they found that adaptive approach it is bit slightly different than what we handle a predictive approach. That is, you have to continuously improve. And when thinking about it, now there are 16 people who joined together and they came out with some principles and values for Agile. If you see here, you will see it's called as Agile Manifesto. In Agile Manifesto, they have 4 manifestos here. When you see the manifestos, it gives a very simple explanation what they are trying to do with the traditional approach. They say that give more focus to individuals and interactions rather focusing more on process and tools. They use the word over. Over means it's nothing mean that they're not saying process tools are bad, but they're saying that give more focus for people, individual, and you interact with them. Over focusing on the process and tools. So do it, but do more on individuals interaction. The second principle or value talks about working software over comprehensive documentation. Don't kill your time in documentation, rather give something usable, which is workable, that is working one. They use the word working software here. That is something constructive, which they expect. The third one they came out with customer collaboration is very important than contract negotiation. Don't kill your time with the contract negotiation. It's important, but more than that, customer collaboration is very important. And the fourth and last one talks about responding to change over a following a plan. This was a big hit. The reason being is there were days people say that we made a plan, we can't do any changes. Planned is planned. And later now they found that you have to respond to change. Even though you did a plan, you should accept the change and make the changes accordingly. And these are the 4 values of Agile, which came in the year 2001. And these four values made the industry upside down, where people started working more on customer collaboration. People started looking more on giving importance to people. People started looking more on accepting the changes. And these four values were further subdivided into 12 principles. I mean, underlying principles, which makes these four values more powerful. When I say principles, these are some set of principles. I'm not going to read everything, but I'll give some highlight of it. Here they talk about customer satisfaction. Satisfy the customer. This is the first most principle of any project management thing. Of course, it is there for so many years, of hundreds of years, satisfying the customer. Nothing is new here. But in Agile, they focus more telling that customer should be satisfied on whatever you deliver it. Your highest goal is that. And they talk about welcoming the change. Accept the change. Don't say that our project cannot make change. Yes, we can accept the change. I like something on one I want to see. Yeah, this one I like it a lot. They talk about face-to-face conversation is very important in Agile. They don't rely morely on emails and phone calls. Rather, tell that have a face-to-face interaction with your stakeholders, with your team members. That is very productive. Gives a lot of good results. And I like one more principle called simplicity. The art of maximizing the amount of work not done. Simplicity. It means that do what is required. Don't go beyond that and don't kill your time on that. Do exactly what is expected. Even keep your work simple. That's the other important goal I see here, right? So these are some of the principles of Agile, and along with these principles, along with your values, it makes a difference in the industry. I'm going back to the values here. So values talks about individuals and interactions, working software, customer collaboration, responding to change. It's a very simple sentence here. It's a very powerful sentence. And following these agile values and principles, okay, they came out with a lot of methods. If I show an umbrella here, it is called as agile umbrella. In agile umbrella, you will have all these four principles, four values, 12 principles are here, right? That will be in agile umbrella. And now there are some methodologies that derive it. And the methodologies are, the one famous one is called Scrum methodology. And this is a one I believe Eric is working. Eric, are you working?
It's like a combination of Scrum and Kanban.
Oh, is it? You have this as well. Okay, combination of both. Okay, you have integrated this too. Okay. Okay, so it's a hybrid model. So what's happening in the industry is people have adopted the 4 values and 12 principles. They written down the methodologies, and that methodology is called as Scrum methodology, Kanban methodology. There is something called Lean, Crystal. There are different names and different methodology. Extreme programming. And this is primarily used in IT and some of the manufacturing industries. If you go to manufacturing industry, you will see more on Kanban. You will see more on Lean. Lean means reduce the wastage. So these are some methodologies being followed. So Agile is principles and values, and they derive it here. That's called methodologies. They use it here. And that's where we get this Agile system running through. It doesn't mean only IT should follow it. Other industry can also follow it. But at the same time, you should have a keep watch on something called MVP, minimum viable product. I'll show it now. So Agile is something not new. It is purely a mindset, a change in mind and culture telling that the way we work. Early days, it was like we allocate a work and people will don't track, or in fact, they don't follow on a daily basis. They'll give a work and ask for the work after a week or so, and then find out how it's happening. Now, what's happening is Agile mindset expect the work to be done on an everyday basis. And again, here there is no monitoring thing. It is a self-driven team. Team will come forward and they'll tell what they're doing rather than a manager asking a question. I remember when I started the career, it will be days like manager will call for a reporting session where we have to go and present in a whiteboard what all we did on a every 2 weeks or every month we have to present it. That's all. That's also the old style now. Now it's happening like the team will meet together on their own and talk to each other. Rather reporting to one manager, they'll talk to each other, telling as a friends, hey, you know what I did today? I did this stuff. You know what I did yesterday? It was like this. And also they say what are the blockers they have. And this is a new way of looking into project management. Some area it's successful, some area it's still get to matured. Whenever you say self-organizing team, always there'll be some flaw on that. In a sense, not every team are self-organized. Someone has to monitor them. Okay, there are two ways of debate happening in the industry. Agile is good or bad. Let's not get there. Let's try to understand what is agile. That's enough. Okay, I was talking about predictive and adaptive way, and that is when it's predictive, we can go with approach what we like, which is going to be traditional approach. When it is going to be too much of adaptive way, we go with agile. Adaptive is continuous changes. Degree of change is very high, from low to high, right? The degree of change is going high, it becomes agile. Okay. I believe the first or second I spoke about a cycle, which is talking about the predictive cycle, iterative, incremental, agile. It's now like what Eric said. It will be a hybrid. They mix more methodologies. End of day, the product should be delivered and consistently to the stakeholders. So that's what happens in agile way. There are certain things which we talked about in the things in the PMP. We talked about triple constraint: time, cost, and scope. The same is here, but in a different dimension. Again, you have a time, cost and time and functionality. This is the agile way of looking. This is a traditional way of looking, right? In agile way of looking, they tell that features is fixed here. You can't change the features in the traditional way, whereas time and cost keep changing. I want a bridge to be constructed, that's being fixed. The bridge completion time can be extended. The bridge cost, which you want overall budget, can be extended, right? That is there in the traditional way. When you go for agile way, the cost and time will be frozen, telling that within $500, with the 2 weeks of time, what you can do. Then the functionality gets expanded. Whatever you can do within that $500 with the 2 weeks of timeline, that's getting chosen. So this is a way what we look out a agile project. It is something like a reverse of what we did in traditional way. So here the time and cost are fixed. So when time and cost are fixed, you know what actually to be delivered. When you keep time and cost are open, people are asking more and more and more. There is no never-ending solution for it. So that's what they're trying here in agile way. And moving further, I'm not sure this will be helping everyone, but understand that it's nothing but the planning, which talks about list of requirements. Imagine this is a drum where you keep storing all your requirements. They pull it to the next stage, that is release planning, where again, these are all requirements. If you see here, all these lines are requirements, but there are different naming conventions for it. It's a product backlog, which is an overall list. This is for next 3 months, what you're going to do. For 2 weeks, what you're going to do. So from the overall list, we divide into pieces, and so that the team can handle it effectively. For now, understand that it's nothing but requirements. It's been called as user stories. A requirement has a different name called as user stories. Right? That's how it goes. And it's also called as release planning. It's nothing but how we are going to give a requirement to back to the customer in a finished way, for which they use a term called sprint. Eric, are you using sprint or iteration? What term you use?
Both.
Both you use. Okay. Okay.
The sprint is where the work is done, and then the iteration is the release number.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, good. So sprint is nothing but a timeline of 2 to 4 weeks. So it could be of 2 to 4 weeks. Nothing but if it is 2 weeks, it's 10 days. If it is 4 weeks, it's 20 days. So with this 20 days, you're going to complete something $500 worth of work. And so now if you see here, the time is frozen, 10 days. The cost is also frozen. Now requirement could be of anything that the customer will choose. Customer will choose what they want. Here the customer is called as PO, nothing but product owner. Product owner, right? I know for Steve, these all be new terms, but just for understanding purpose, I'm giving a highlight here. It is something like you decide the time, how much of time you're going to spend, how much of dollars you're going to spend, and the customer will choose what they want, and that will be delivered every 2 weeks. And it is a very quick way of releasing something to the market to be relevant with the market, to be top of the market. If you open up your mobile and you open your internet connectivity, you'll start seeing a lot of updates coming for your Facebook or WhatsApp or any app what you have. It is nothing but every 2 weeks they keep on releasing something. That's the reason you get a lot of updates. Whereas for a bridge construction, you can't do a lot of releases. It'll be only a couple of releases, you get a bridge done. So it differs. So you cannot blindly say that every project can be adopted. Some or some may not. So we have to know which project style we are working and what is the project expectation. Based on that, you have to choose it. Okay, that's one. And a sprint works like this. They do for 2 weeks, and every 24 hours they meet once to see how we are progressing. And they take the backlog here. It's called stories. Stories nothing but requirement. A requirement is taken by the team and they work for 2 weeks consistently. Every 24 hours they meet and see how they are progressing. Okay, that's about the sprint planning. User stories are in Agile, it's called as user story. It is a requirement. A requirement talks about it, the role of the person who is asking for the requirement, and what it will do and what's the benefit out of it. It is a way of writing a requirement in a different dimension to make more clarity of the requirement. That's about user stories. Yeah, Agile, I'm just putting here. If you see the diagram, you'll get the idea. There is a backlog, which has a list of items to be delivered, and that will be pulled inside sprint backlog, which is for next 3 months or 2 months, what we're going to do. And that will be taken by the team and do in a cycle continuously. And they give the usable increment. It's a very key word in Agile, usable. In other projects, the usable will come only in the last stage of the project. In Agile, every week or every other month, we'll give something usable. That's why Agile is getting very famous. That is primarily now in IT, it's working. Non-IT, still there is slightly catching up, but not every project can be Agile. So we should be clear enough on that. Okay, I think that's put on that. Any questions on Agile coming up for you, Eric and Steve?
I guess I'm good for now.
I know it's above the head for some time if you don't use Agile. Okay. Yeah. So what we did is we have learned through the processes now. We have got the idea about the Agile factors also. What we'll do is we'll quickly see the exam format so that it will help us to proceed on. So we'll spend another 15 minutes and we'll close off our PMP session. And any questions we can take it on, and we can also get connected over the emails going forward. So what I do is quickly I'm going to help you. I will just give a highlight what you have to do. First thing, you have to get to pmi.org. By the way, Steve and Eric, have you ever got a login into pmi.org before?
I don't think I do.
Okay.
No, I don't think so either.
Okay, I'll just give a highlight what you have to do for exam. We are progressing towards exam. We have learned through the subject. Now we are progressing to exam. I would expect you to fix the exam date in your mind and communicate me over the email or WhatsApp. So I will start helping you from there. What you learned as a subject, now you have to proceed towards exam. When you go for the exam, this is a site. It's called pmi.org. Okay. Now this pmi.org is from the PMI Institute, where you have to log in there and you have to create a profile. It's something like a Facebook profile. Now, after you get there, if you click the certifications, you will see good amount of certifications here. Do you see PMP here? Yes, we have a PMP here. Okay, so you both are able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Once you get to this PMI website and go to the certification link, you will see something called apply now. Before that, I'll show you some more information. You have a exam application tips, how to fill the examination form. You have an exam outline. What are the areas you have to read for the exam? That will be explained. And they also explain how to fill the form, handbook, all be given here. The interesting factor here is 20% average higher salary for the people who clear PMP. It's a stats given from PMI Institute. It's interesting. I know you all like it. It's going to be higher in your salary. Coming down, they give a price tag for examination. For a non-member of PMI, you have to pay $555. If you're a member, you have to pay $405. Okay, and this is a prerequisite for the examination. You may be holding a secondary. If you hold a secondary degree, you have to show 7,500 hours of project experience. If you hold a 4-year degree, you can show 4,500 hours of experience. When I say 4,500 hours, it will cover 3 years approximately. So for Steve, he has more than 20 years of experience. You don't need to show everything. You have to show last 3 years or any 3 years or last 8 years of timeline. So 3 years of project experience will share in a document. I'll show you how to fill it out. And for Eric, same, you have to fill those details. When you do that, you have to apply for the examination. When you say apply now, it will ask questions. For me, yeah, I can't do that because I already cleared it. It says PMP certified. I'm also a ACP certified, that is Agile certified. So I can fill the forms now. So what I can do is I will take any form. Okay, sometimes a form would look like this. You will have a contact information. You will have, you have to just fill up. This is nothing but a wizard. You're just filling the information. When you fill this information, save it as a PDF file. And that PDF file will have the information about your name, details, your degree, and project information, right? What I can do is I can share you a template how to fill this form. Will that help you? I can share the form how to fill the examination stuff. That's going to help you others, right? Exam part, outline. Okay. Okay, I will share later on that template how to fill the form. So you have to fill that form and you have to submit it here. When you submit it, this form will go for validation with the PMI Institute. They will verify the form and get back to you saying that your form is good for examination. Once they say good for examination, you have to pay the exam fee, which I showed there, right? That fee will happen. You will pay that $555 or $405. You will pay this fee only after the application is verified by them. After you pay the fee, they'll tell you you are eligible for the examination. Once they say you're eligible for the examination, they will also give an eligibility ID. It will be a 4-digit number or 8-digit number. Once you get that, you have to go to the second stage. This is the last stage. I'm explaining this because when you go for the exam, it will be easy for you. You have to schedule your exam here. It's a Prometric center where you have to schedule it. By the way, Steve should be aware of Prometric center. Yeah, you went for a recent exam, right, Steve?
I haven't done any recently, but I'm sure there's a couple of them in Phoenix.
Oh, okay, okay. How about you, Eric? You went for an exam in a Prometric center?
No.
Yeah, I've done these exams where you have to go to the testing centers. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You have to go to. So this is a website where you have to apply for that exam. So I will give a locate center. So what I'm doing here is I went to the PMI website and I filled my application form and I paid the fees. Once you pay the fees, they will share you something called eligibility ID, which will be of some 8-digit number. This is very important for you. After this number only, you have to go to this website, prometric.com. Okay, which city you want to try?
Try Arizona. Let's look what's in Arizona.
You want to try Arizona? Okay, let's try Arizona. So when you try Arizona, it will show some places. Okay, they're asking which exam you want to go. PMI has a lot of exams. For us, it is PMP exam. They will ask a couple of more questions. Okay, which city you're looking on?
Put down Phoenix.
I believe I spelled it right.
Oh, there they are. The Camelback.
Okay. Do you see your city here, your place?
Yeah, actually, it looks like, where's E? Oh, that's in Flagstaff. Okay, that's way north of me.
This place?
No, actually, the one that, if you go all the way back up, I think it was letter A. One on Camelback Road.
This one is closer for you?
Yeah, it's about 20 minutes from my house.
Oh man, you are very closer. Okay. Now, by the way, Eric, I'm just showing it as a sample. You can see your city closer places also. Okay. Once you search that, now you have to search for availability. Once you click the availability, it will show a calendar. Yeah. Oh man, February is already full. No date is available. People have booked a slot already. Okay, let's look for March. For the month of March. Okay, there are few dates available. When you see blue color, it means the dates available for exam. What it means is the center will get filled up when many people apply for the exam. For example, if I click 22, it shows me 2 slots. Are you seeing two different timeline here? One is 8 a.m., other one is 12:30 p.m. This is the usual exam schedule happens. It'll be a center where you have people writing different exams along with you when you do PMP exam. So you have to choose a center, but generally Sundays are off. Sundays it's not working. Saturday it will work. So if you have work on Friday, go on Saturday. Choose Saturday. Yeah, in Saturday, 8 o'clock is a slot. So I'll repeat again the process. You fill the form and you paid the fee, and they gave you eligibility ID. After you get the ID, you come back to the site and you choose the calendar. After you choose the calendar, you say schedule an appointment. When you click schedule an appointment, they will ask a couple of questions, terms and conditions. They will ask, I confirm, I consent. They're asking some few terms and conditions, they're explaining it. After reading the terms and conditions, here you have to give that eligibility ID. That ID will be some number, right? Once you do that, you submit it, it will say that your exam date is booked. Is this explanation clear for you?
Yeah.
Right?
Have you ever done one of these tests at these exam centers, Eric?
Is it a question to Eric?
Not this one in particular, but I've gone to testing centers.
Yeah, these guys are like, they make airport security look like child's play. When I had to do a real estate. To get my realtor's license, I had to go to one of these, and I had a pack of Tums. I had a roll of Tums. And they actually took it away from me, and I told them, I said, well, I need them because I've got acid reflux. Goes, well, she gave me a tissue. She pulled a tissue out, gave me a tissue, and gave me three Tums and said, there you go. That should hold you.
Oh, God.
Wouldn't even let me take my freaking roll of Tums in. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, what Steve says absolutely right, Eric. I have been to this exam twice. One is for PMP, one is for ACP. It's like airport security. They'll ask you to flip up your socks or your shirt full or flip up your shoes out, and they'll check you like anything. They'll ask you to take off your specs, and they'll scan the specs. And they do
crazy.
Crazy, really crazy.
And then you sit there, whatever desk they give you, there's a freaking camera right over the top of it, so you're on camera the whole damn time.
You're being monitored.
There is no slipping crib notes into that place, I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, you're right. They keep watching you. There'll be a guy sitting over the CCTV who keep on seeing what you're doing there. I agree with Steve. It's a freaking there.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, that's how they make it. And yeah, they make sure that the security is so good, so there is no tweaking of the exam, right? So they make sure that happens, but sometimes it looks very odd, right? And they don't allow you to take any water or any eatable, or not even your wallet or a watch, what you wear. Everything should be kept aside in the locker. You
Yep.
should keep your watch, wallet, any wearing. Only wedding ring is accepted. The rest all should be removed off. So that's a process. They follow it. But I feel in some place there is a chance some people can have a hidden camera and do some tweaking. So for that reason, they are doing all this stuff. But sometimes it makes you feel odd. I agree. Now,
I'm gonna take
you know the
extra cash and see if I can pay off the guard.
yeah, yeah. So okay, and the point what I want to give is you have to go to pmi.org. Please do that and register yourself. For me, I registered some years back. Please visit pmi.org and register yourself for the first day. And for the membership, they charge around $120, if I'm not wrong. If you register it, you'll get a lot of videos and a lot of listening things. Instead of reading in the books, you can go here and listen through the videos and audios. A lot are here, tons of information that can happen here. And when you get closer to the examination, that time you click the apply now, not immediately. Take time of 2 weeks or 3 weeks of time and read the books clearly. After read the books and come back. In fact, I put a study plan for you. For both of you, I put a study plan. And the study plan, I made something like this. I'm not sure you want the same timeline. What I did is how to read. That is the first 2 days you have to read this. The next 5 days, I mean, if you take initiation, that's a 13% of the question in the examination. That is 26 questions. Spend 2 days reading this particular area, and you have 2 process in that. Out of 49, you have 2 process in that. For the planning, it's 24% of the exam questions. 5 days of timeline, you will read 24 processes. I just put like this. You can tweak the date if you want. I made it 21 days. If you think you can do in 35 days, make it as 35 days. And I expect you to go for the mock examination, which Ismart is going to share with you, and do that mock examination so you get a clarity how good you are. As for my knowledge, as I observed you both in the classroom, I felt you both are so sharp in the questions. 1 or 2 questions you missed out. If not, most of the questions you are right to the answer. So I feel you are so good. Only thing is you need is full practice. So if you do a full exam practice, the exam has 200 questions and you have to practice it out. When you do that, you are all set for the examination. And I put a split up of the 21 days what you have to do. I put out here. Each day what you will read. I made it as which process, which knowledge area, which book you will read, and what will be the process you will read. I made it like this for you. You can tweak it if you want. I would recommend it, just follow it. It will help you. Just try from tomorrow for 21 days.
Okay.
Right.
Now, is there no way can I do one of the mock exams right away just to get a feel for the type of questions?
I know many of my candidates ask this question. Yes, you can, but it shouldn't demotivate if you get the marks very lower. So that's where I'm worried. I sometimes ask the candidates at least read the books once. Complete the book at least once and go for the mock examination. Imagine you're giving a mock exam and you're scoring less than 50%.
Oh, I'd be expecting to score probably more down around 20. There's no doubt I go down in flames on that one, but
no, Steve. See, Steve, what I feel with you and Eric is you both are so comfortable in answering question. If not, you are comfortable in maybe some area you couldn't get the PMI terms. Okay, so for that reason, I would request you to read the books at least once, because when you go for the exam mock, the first exam itself, you should feel comfortable that you know the terms, rather guessing. I don't believe on guesswork. Guesswork will not support for 200 questions. guesswork and support for 5 or 6 questions. So a kind recommendation is please read the book at least once and then go for the mock examinations, right? With your speed of learning, I feel you can complete the book in hardly 12 days. 12 to 13 days, you will complete the book the way you have the knowledge. So do that and try one mock examination and see are you scoring more than 65 or 70%. When you feel comfortable about 65 to 70%, I would recommend you to go to the website where I showed and book the date for the exam, right? And where the doubt will come is when you start filling the application form, your doubts will come. And that moment, message me or mail me, I'll try to help you out because I have a template how to fill the form. Now, it is not urgent to fill the form. First, focus should be on the books, right?
So initiate.
Yeah, saying that. Yeah, and I used to give this inputs for the people who come for the class. I expect people to follow this. Uh, there is a sheet which I show 49 process sheet. Try writing it on a everyday basis in the morning hours to get the grip of the subject. And there are ITTOs. When I say ITTOs, inputs, tools, techniques, and outputs. Choose 15 process, which is very important out of 49, and start reading and writing it out regular basis. And go for the mock examination. Review the right question and also wrong question, wrong answers. Once you do the mock exam, definitely there will be some questions went wrong. Find out why it went wrong. Is the way of our understanding is wrong or something the answer is not properly given there? Understand that part, that's very important. And whenever you read a question, look at the keywords in the question. The keywords are the only clue to answer. Why? Because one question will come for 1 minute 30 seconds. If it is 200 questions in 4 hours, it's going to be 1 minute 30 seconds. So within the 1 minute 30 seconds, if you want to read a question and answer it, it's going to be slightly tougher. So you have to see the keywords in the question, so it will make you faster, right? And one more key important is in YouTube, you see a lot of videos about the PMP. You could choose some of the best author videos, which is available, short videos. And while you're driving to your office, listen that YouTube videos in your car, or when you're at home, listen for some time. That's the best way of learning, which I recommend for the people, right? So these are some of the basic things I share with the candidates, and this is showing good results, and candidates are clearing faster with above target and all. There are categories of grade, and I see many of my candidates got above target. The only reason is they started following the morning rituals regularly. So that's the primary thing I have from me for PMP. Any other questions or open things to be addressed for you? Any help I can do for you and Eric and Steve?
No, I think at this point it's pretty much a sink or swim.
Okay. Okay. Yep. So this session's all being recorded, and I believe the videos are being viewable for you, and you're able to follow it. And we'll be in touch. What I do is the WhatsApp group is there, and we'll be in touch. I'll be sharing some of the questions and some of the topics. We'll be discussing about it. And once you get ready for the examination, start filling the form and reach out. I will help you. At the same time, I'll recommend you to look out your calendar and book a date in advance. Don't wait for the date, because as you read the book, there is no end time. As you read, you will always love to read again and again. But you have to have a date in your mind. For example, March 15 is a date, fix it, and then start reading it. I would recommend to work in a reverse way. That's easy to clear the exam. And the PMP is the most respected exam in the industry. People clearing PMP is getting good promotions, job, domain change, salary hike. It is really tremendous. So let's focus on PMP completion. Saying that, that's the information I have from me. If I missed anything, if you feel anything to be communicated more, I'm always available over the mobile, WhatsApp, email, and our Ismart team is there to support you at any time. So we are happy to help you.
And you said the application to get the 8-digit code was where?
Okay. What you do is what you do is you have to go to this website pmi.org.
Yep, and I created an account.
Okay, create an account, great. After which you start, what's happening? It's a hanging out. So after which you have to fill the application form. I'll show you how to do it. I'll take
There it is. It's under certifications.
certifications. Yeah, you have to start. Okay, Eric is dropping off. Thanks, Eric. Okay, we'll connect with Eric a bit later. So for Steve, what's happening is once you click apply now, are you able to click apply now?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. Oh, there it is. All right, I got it.
You got it? Okay, fine.
Yeah, I got it now.
Yeah, when you see the screen, what I'm sharing here, you will have a wizard. On your left, you will see address, education details, and all this information. And you have to submit it. And in fact, I had to show something on to you.
Apply for PMP. Add home address.
Okay, when you fill the form, it may look like this. Are you seeing a PDF which I'm sharing in the screen?
I don't think I'm that far yet.
No. What you have to see, just look at the screen, what I'm sharing.
Yep.
Okay, you have a PDF here. This PDF is nothing but what you fill in this application form. When you fill this application form in the website, in the final stage, it will give save and continue. And finally, it will give an option when you come to this level of certificate, agreement. You fill all the details. Finally, it will tell you save as PDF. When you save it as PDF, it will be like a PDF file, what I'm showing to you now. It will be something like that. If you fill the form and share with me, I can verify and tell you, have you filled in the right details or not.
Okay.
After which you can give the final submit. Okay. So what I'm doing here is you have to give your name here as I show in the screen. Give the exact spelling of your name because this is what going to be printed in your certificate. Okay. And you can give your degree, what you want to in education. And one important thing you have to fill in is project information. I know you did a lot of projects in the last 25 years, but I would expect you to fill last 3 years of project. That is 4,500 hours. That's more than enough.
Okay.
Right. And when you fill in, you will give a date. For example, it is August 7. In your case, it will be 2011, 12, 13, some year will be there. You put the years of the project and you put your role. What is the role you call yourself, Steve?
Project manager.
Yeah, exactly. Put the project manager role here. And you will give your job title and you will give your company details. Right. And there is one area which I want to address with you. This is a very core area. You have to give the contact name of the person who is going to authorize you when there is something called audit. If you're aware, there is something called audit process in PMI, where out of 100 applications, 8 or 10 applications will be picked for audit.
Okay.
What do you mean by audit is they check whether this application is a genuine application or not. When they pick that application, they will send a mail to this email ID of your manager. Do you have any manager whom you report to?
I've got my partner, and actually my partner in the company I'm with right now was my supervisor at my last job.
Fantastic. Whether he or she is aware that you're doing PMP?
Yeah, he knows.
Okay, very good. Then what you can do is you can give your partner name here and give your partner email ID here. So what will happen is when the audit picks up, they want to know, are you a genuine person? So they will send an email to your partner at Gmail or Outlook or whatever ID. Your partner has to download the form like this, the PDF form. It will be something in the same PDF and put a signature on the PDF bottom here and send it back to US address, the address of your PMI Institute. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. By that, what it means is out of 108 application picked for audit, by in case yours get picked up. but most of the time I never see any of my candidate got picked up. If in case picked up, a mail will automatically go to this ID. That is the ID of your partner. Your partner has to just download the PDF, put his signature and send it, telling that, yes, I know Steve. Steve is working in this project for a while. So that's good to go. That's it.
Okay.
Right. And one last information for this form. You have to give the number of hours you spent in your project in these areas: initiation, planning, executing, monitoring control, and closing. It's a rough number given here. You may not be able to exactly give it. You will tell that I spent 130 hours in initiation. I spent 300 hours in planning. I spent 500 hours in execution. This is how they fill the information. And also you'll give description about the project, what you did in the project. Here the information is not very perfect here. I will give a template form which will have a clear information which you can reuse it, right? I will just share that data a little later. You can reuse it. Point I want to convey to you is, this is your project. There's a number of hours you spent in that project. It should be like a bell curve. It starts in 130, goes higher, 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 550, and then falls down. Of course,
Okay.
in closing, you can spend only 86 hours, not beyond that. So I'm just saying that that's how the bell curve look like. Okay, like this, you're going to give at least 3 projects or 4 projects. See, one more project here, project 2, and you will give project 3. That's it. That's it. That 4th project, and finally you'll give Ismart learning, and you spend some hours in learning the education, what you did now. You're doing now, right? That you have to fill in here. So point is, you have to fill this application. This all happens in the website, pmi.org. It may look a little complicated when you see from me now. When you start filling in, you'll feel that's very easy, cakewalk. Just give the details, next, 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 and it'll be done. And I would recommend, before you submit the application, pass the application to me. I will verify it once. Is every detail is perfect there, anything to be added on? After which you can give a final submit button. Once you give the final submit, you're going to get the eligibility ID. Right? With the eligibility ID, you'll come to Prometric Center to book the date. Is it comfortable? Right. Is it good for you, Steve?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm at the right. Yeah, I think. All right. Yep, I think I'm at the right, because I'd like to get that registration portion done.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I'll work on that tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. I would recommend you to book a date so that you will start moving forward.
Yeah, and then I'm going to look at doing the because I know if I set a if I don't set a test date, I'm not going to, if I don't set a test date, I'm probably going to lag behind in the studying. But if I spend $400 and get a test date, I'm going to bust my tail to get through this stuff. So
you got it right. You got it right. So when is time when you're looking at? March or April?
I'm going to shoot for that. I'm going to shoot for that March 23rd date. March 23rd or something, right in that date, right in that range.
Fantastic. Fantastic. That's great to know. Seriously, Steve, what you're saying is right, Steve. You should have a date. Only with the date you will move forward.
Yeah, if I don't have a date, I won't study, and then then it's all for good.
I'm 100% with you. The same I did. The moment I complete the course, I first booked the date.
Yep.
Also, I paid the fees. The moment you pay the fees, a fire is set for you. You have to run.
Yeah,
so
I'll do all that tomorrow. I'll get my membership to the PMI Institute, or the PMI.
Fantastic.
I'll pay that.
Fantastic.
And I think it's actually, it's not a bad deal. It's only like $130, and it saves you $150 on the exam. So
Yep. More than that, I feel once you get the membership, you get a lot of inputs. You get a lot of videos and audio to listen through. So that's definitely going to be helpful. Handful of information for you.
Good. Well, I got a lot of traveling to do here, so I'm gonna have a lot of plane flights and a lot of hotel time. So it should be pretty easy to study. So
please do that. Hope you have a YouTube app in your mobile. if you have a YouTube app, I would request you to browse for PMP classroom or PMP sessions, or you can listen back the session what you taken here now, right?
Okay.
Yeah, Ismart Learning, all the sessions are there. You listen through it again a couple of times. Maybe when you listen second or third time, your knowledge will be a little more different than what you are, right? So yeah, we can do that. That's good from my side. And yeah, the good session with you, Steve and Eric. I felt comfortable with sharing knowledge with you, and I felt you both are catching up faster. And Steve, you have a lot of examples from your side. Thanks for sharing in the session. It was interesting interacting with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate the course, and yeah, I'll be, well, we've got the WhatsApp, so yeah, you'll definitely be hearing from me.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm there to support you.
So,
Anytime you can reach out to me. And the good feedback to you is you are able to catch up the concepts much faster. So I
yeah.
appreciate your speed and learning.
So, all right, sounds good, Sri. I appreciate your time, your help, and
Yes.
like I said, I'll be in touch, and I'm going to get all my stuff scheduled tomorrow so that it's
Fantastic.
light a fire under my ass. What I need to do to light a fire. So.
Okay.
Very
Thanks.
good.
Thanks,
Thank
Dave. Thank
you.
you. Have a great time and all the best for your success. We are with you to support. Good wishes from
Sounds
my
great.
smart.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye.